everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. We're so thrilled to be chatting with you all again here on YouTube. Oh, hope you're ready for another fun country comparison, because we definitely are.
Hey YouTube, Leo here, ready to rumble, or at least ready to compare some countries and make Mira spill her coffee again. Just kidding, mostly. But seriously folks, glad to be back in the studio with the usual controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos, that's definitely us. And speaking of chaos, you won't believe what happened to me just the other day. I was trying to be all domestic and bake cookies, right? Thought, Mira, you're gonna be a baking queen.
Baking queen? Oh, sounds dangerous. Did the kitchen survive?
Well, the kitchen's still standing, which is a win. But let's just say my cookies decided to start a rebellion. They spread out all over the baking sheet, fused together into one giant cooking monster. And then they started smoking. Whoa.
Smoking cookies? Now that's a visual. Did you call the fire department or just eat your cookie monster before it could evolve?
No fire department needed, thankfully. But I did manage to salvage some edible bits and pieces. I even sprinkled them with extra sugar and declared them deconstructed gourmet cookies. Positive spin, always.
Deconstructed gourmet cookies. Only Mira. Only you. Meanwhile, my week was slightly less explosive. I was at my usual coffee shop, right? Just trying to enjoy my caffeine, fixing people watch. My favorite sport.
Oh, people watching. Spill the beans, Leo. What absurdities did you witness?
Okay, so picture this: a guy walks in, super serious, business suit, the whole 9 yards. He orders a double espresso, black as night, and then he pulls out a tiny, travel-size umbrella and opens it up inside the coffee shop.
A tiny umbrella indoors? Was it raining inside the coffee shop and nobody told me? That's classic.
Exactly. Everyone just stared, but he acted as the most normal thing in the world, sipping his espresso under his miniature umbrella. I swear, the absurdity of everyday life is just comedy gold.
Comedy gold indeed. See, Leo finds miniature umbrellas. I create cookie monsters. Our lives are never dull, are they? Are they? Ooh! But speaking of interesting places, today we are diving into two incredibly fascinating countries. Aren't we?
Absolutely. Get ready, folks, because we're packing our metaphorical bags and heading to Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. Prepare for a wild drag from the Balkans to the land of the rising sun. Aha!
Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. What a combo, right? It's like mixing fire and really, really polite fire. But seriously, these two countries are so different, yet both incredibly captivating in their own ways. I'm already excited to explore all the contrasts and maybe a few unexpected similarities. Wow.
Me too, Mira. From the historical depths of Sarajevo to the neon-lit streets of Tokyo, this is going to be a comparison of epic proportions. So buckle up, YouTube listeners. It's time to jet off with Jet Off AI and explore Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. And if you're liking this already, you know what to do. Hit that like button.
Meow. They're diving into general safety and crime rates for Bosnia versus Japan. It's like comparing a feisty kitten to a Zen master, right?
More like comparing a slightly unpredictable bulk and road trip to a perfectly scheduled bullet train, Mira. But yeah, safety first, even before the snacks, almost.
Now, Bosnia and Herzegovina. When I think of it, I picture those dramatic mountains and maybe a James Bond movie set, you know. Is it safe to walk around without accidentally stumbling into an international spy ring? All right, Leo. Let's dive into something that's on everyone's mind when they're thinking about visiting a new place, or even moving their safety. We're talking about Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan today. And first up is general safety and crime rates. It's not exactly a left-right topic. But hey, knowing you're not going to lose your wallet, or worse, is kind of important, friend, right?
Mira, you always manage to make even crime rates sound like a stand-up intro. But you're right. Safety first, then comedy. I guess. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Immediately, my brain goes to completely different images. Bosnia, then picturing bustling markets. Maybe it's like futuristic cities and Boeing robots. Safety-wise? It's safety-wise. That's safety-wise.
Well, maybe not worlds apart in the bad sense. Leah, let's start with Bosnia and Herzegovina. I mean, it's been through a lot, hasn't it? But from what I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually surprisingly safe for tourists these days, especially in touristy areas like Sarajevo and Mostar. It's not like you're walking into a movie set of a heist film.
Right. Definitely moved on from any heist film vibe. I've heard similar things, Mira. Like petty crime, pickpocketing in crowded spots, sure, that's unfortunately everywhere. Even in my own apartment, sometimes where socks disappear into another dimension. But serious crime against tourists seems relatively low in Bosnia, wouldn't you say?
Keep your wits about you. You know, basic big city stuff. Don't flash wads of cash. Maybe keep your phone in your front pocket if you're in a super crowded bazaar looking for that perfect, slightly too shiny souvenir. Oops. But overall, I think you can relax and enjoy your barrack without constantly looking over your shoulder.
Barrack anxiety is definitely a thing, Mira. You're trying to enjoy that flaky goodness and suddenly you're paranoid about your backpack. Not good. But yeah, Bosnia sounds like common sense prevails. Now Japan is liked, legendary for safety, right? It's practically the poster child for leave your door unlocked and your wallet on the park bench levels of security. Exaggerating a bit, maybe.
Just a tad, Leo, but not by much. Japan really does have this incredible reputation, doesn't it, of things like their culture, how close-knit communities often are, and just a general respect for rules and each other. It's like everyone's politely agreeing not to steal your stuff.
Polite crime prevention. I love it. Imagine pickpockets in Japan bowing deeply before relieving you of your valuables. Excuse me, most are tourists, but I regretfully must borrow your wallet. But seriously, yeah, Japan's crime rates are famously low, especially unbelievable compared to some places.
Is. And you hear stories, right? People leaving their phones or wallets on tables in cafes and coming back later and they're still there. Try that in my neighborhood, Leo. And you'll be lucky if the table is still there. It's just a different world in Japan when it comes to that every day. Low-level crime stuff.
Totally different. I think part of it, and maybe this is a bit of a generalization, but there's a stronger sense of collective responsibility in Japan. Like, everyone feels a bit more accountable to society as a whole. If someone messes up, it reflects on everyone, or something like that. Maybe that's why they're all so polite. And safe!
Makes sense. It's the don't cause shame to your family or community vibe, amplified across the whole country. Whereas maybe in Bosnia, it's more about that amazing community spirit in smaller towns, looking out for each other in a more direct, neighborly way. Different approaches, same-ish result, relatively safe places to be.
Yeah, different flavors of safe. Bosnia, maybe like a cozy neighborhood watch kind of safe. Japan, more like a super efficient society-wide agreement to be safe. Both sound pretty good to me, especially compared to some places where you feel like you need to wear valuables under your clothes and sleep with one eye open.
So our listeners thinking about visiting either Bosnia and Herzegovina or Japan, don't let crime rates be a major worry. Just be smart, be aware, and you'll probably be too busy enjoying the amazing food and sights to even think about pickpockets. Oh, and if you want to dive deeper into safety tips for specific cities, Jadolf AI is always there to help, right?
Shameless plug, Mira, but accurate. Jadolf AI, your guide to not getting your pockets spent, and much more. So, in conclusion, for general safety and crime rates, both Bosnia and Japan get a thumbs up from us in terms of feeling generally secure. Just maybe don't try leaving your wallet on a park bench in Sarajevo, just in case.
Probably wise advice, Theo. Unless you want to test the Bosnian honesty theory for our next podcast episode. Oops. But for now, let's move on to political stability and social harmony, shall we? Speaking of things that might or might not keep you up at night, huh? Never. The sparkly shoes are coming with me. Safety and sparkle, that's my motto. But thanks, Leo, feeling much safer and spicier now. Ready for the next topic. Well, so we've navigated the security scene, dodged virtual pickpockets. And now, let's chat about something equally crucial, especially if you're thinking of setting up shop somewhere new, political stability and social harmony. It's like asking, is the vibe chill or chaotic?
Exactly, Mira. Security is one thing, but political stability and social harmony? That's the long-term forecast, right? It's like checking if the weather's just cloudy or if a storm's brewing for the next decade. And for our first contender, we've got Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Bosnia and Herzegovina. Ah, a country where the history is layered as a millfuel pastry, but maybe not always as sweet, right? Well, politically, well, let's just say it's got more moving parts than a Swiss watch convention.
Millfuel pastry is a great analogy, Mira. Lots of layers, and if you poke it wrong, it might just crumble. Bosnia and Herzegovina, bless its heart, came out of a really tough period in the 90s, and the political setup is unique, thanks to the Dayton Agreement.
Unique is one word for it, Leah. It's like they decided to build a government by committee, except the committee is made up of, like, 3 committees, all watching each other. Aha, it's got entities, cantons, and more presidents than I have pairs of shoes.
More presidents than pairs of shoes. That's saying something, Mira, considering your shoe collection. But you're right. The complex structure, while designed to ensure everyone's voice is heard after the war, can also lead to, well, political gridlock doesn't even begin to cover it.
Honey, sometimes it feels like they're not even in the same traffic jam. They're in completely different cities arguing about the map. Oops. And that history, the shadow of the past, you can still feel it, can't you? It's like trying to have a picnic on a trampoline. Things are still a bit bouncy.
Bouncy picnic, perfectly put, Mira. That war cast a long shadow, and ethnic divisions are still a very real thing. Social harmony, in that context, is less convey around a campfire and more carefully navigating a minefield in flip-flops. Ouch!
Flip-flops in a minefield. Leo, you have a way with words. But seriously, you can see people are trying. They really are. There's this underlying desire for things to just work. It's like everyone's got a shared goal, but they're all reading different instruction manuals on how to get there.
So, I think that we can counter that. Exactly. And sometimes those instruction manuals are written in different languages and possibly upside down. Political stability in Bosnia and Herzegovina? It's, let's say, a work in progress with a capital W and a capital P.
Work in progress is the diplomatic way to put it, Leo. I might go with perpetual motion machine of political debate. But hey, they're still standing, still talking, still trying to figure it out. That's got to count for something, right?
Absolutely, Mira. Resilience is their superpower. And now, for a complete 180, let's teleport ourselves to Japan. From millfield pastry complexity to a perfectly organized bento box of political and social harmony.
Ah, the land of the rising sun and seemingly unwavering politeness. Wow. It's like stepping into a different dimension after Bosnia, isn't it? Suddenly, everything feels ordered.
Ordered is the key word, Mira. Japan is like the opposite end of the spectrum. Politically, it's been pretty stable, especially after World War I. The Liberal Democratic Party, or LDP, has been the dominant force for, well, ever.
It's like they've got a full dynasty going on. And social harmony. It's practically woven into the fabric of Japanese culture. It's like, thou shalt not rock the boat is commandment number 6 right after honor thy ancestors.
Thou shalt not rock the boat. Love it, Mira. Social harmony in Japan isn't just a preference, it's practically an Olympic sport. They get gold medals for politeness, consensus building, and avoiding public disagreements.
Gold medals in politeness. Imagine the opening ceremony synchronized bowing. But seriously, it's impressive. That emphasis on group harmony. It's like everyone's playing in the same orchestra trying to stay in tune.
And they even have rehearsals before the concert to make sure everyone's perfectly in sync. Political stability in Japan is generally high, though it's not without its whispers of drama. Think of it as a very zen garden, occasionally disturbed by a pebble tossed in.
A zen garden with occasional pebble tossing. Perfect again, Leo. Those pebbles might be political scandals or economic hiccups, but the garden mostly stays zen. It's like they've mastered the art of keeping things smooth.
Mastered it like calligraphy, Mira. But it's worth noting that this emphasis on harmony can also have its downsides. Sometimes dissenting voices can get, well, politely silenced, let's say. It's not always rainbows and cherry blossoms.
Politely silenced. But even silence in Japan sounds polite, doesn't it? But you're right, that pressure to conform, to not stand out, it can be a bit intense for some. It's like, but only if yourself is exactly like everyone else.
Be yourself, but only if yourself is exactly like everyone else, Mira. You're on fire today. So, in a nutshell, Bosnia and Herzegovina is a complex tapestry still being woven with political stability as a hopeful aspiration, and social harmony, well, let's say actively pursued.
Actively pursued? Like chasing a butterfly in a hurricane. Whoa. And Japan is more like a well-oiled machine, prioritizing stability and harmony, sometimes at the cost of maybe a little bit of individualistic spice.
Individualistic spice, precisely. So, if you're looking for political drama and social dynamic tension, Bosnia and Herzegovina might be your cup of strong coffee. If you prefer serene stability and social predictability, Japan is your matcha tea. Both have their charms, depending on your taste for political and social flavoring.
I love it. Leo, so, whether you prefer your political and social climate spicy and unpredictable or smooth and zen, those countries offer a very different experience. And I think with that food metaphor firmly in place, we can maybe move on to our next course. Or topic, I mean. All right, Leah. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving into the thrilling world of economics. Oh, specifically how much it costs to actually live in Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Think of it as Wallet Wars Balkan Edition versus Sushi Showdown.
Wallet Wars, Sushi Showdown. Mira, you make economics sound like a cage match? But yeah, let's talk cash. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. It's like comparing a charming, slightly worn-out vintage store to a hyper-efficient, gleaming department store.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, bless its heart, is like that vintage store where you can find amazing deals if you dig around a bit. You know, the cost of living there is generally much lower than in most of Europe. Rent, food, even a decent cup of coffee won't break the bank.
A cup of coffee in Bosnia and Herzegovina probably costs less than the fancy foam art on my latte this morning. Japan, on the other hand, is definitely the department store. Everything is beautifully presented, top quality, but your bank account might weep a little after a shopping spree. Wow.
Weeping bank accounts. Oh, Leo, you're so dramatic. But you're right. Japan is known for being, shall we say, economically ambitious. Cities like Tokyo and Osaka are global hubs, and the price tags definitely reflect that. Rent in Tokyo? Well, you could probably buy a small Bosnian village for the price of a Tokyo apartment. Well, alright, Leo. Buckle up, Buttercup. Because next up on our grand tour of countries, we're diving into the nitty-gritty wallets. We're talking economic conditions and cost of living. Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Get ready for a financial face-wash.
Financial face-wash. Mira, you make it sound like we're about to watch sumo wrestlers wrestle with spreadsheets. But yeah, cost of living, always a fun topic. Especially when you compare a place like Bosnia and Herzegovina with, well, pretty much anywhere, but especially Japan. It's like comparing a cozy cafe to a high-speed bullet train, economically speaking.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, bless its heart, is kinda like that comfy, slightly worn-out armchair you love. It's got charm, it's got character, and it definitely won't break the bank. I hear you can practically live on fresh American strong coffee without needing a second mortgage.
American coffee for life. Sounds like my kind of economic plan. Meanwhile, Japan. Japan is more like that sleek, futuristic robot love that anticipates your every need and charges you accordingly. Wow! Tokyo rent alone could probably fund a small barrack empire in Sarajevo.
Oh my gosh, Tokyo rent. Whoa, I saw a documentary once where someone was living in what was basically a glorified closet and paying more than my entire apartment back home. Is it true you need to sell a kidney to afford a decent apartment in Tokyo?
Not quite a kidney mirror. Maybe just a particularly healthy spleen. But seriously, the cost of space in major Japanese cities is astronomical. You're already paying for location efficiency, and probably the sheer coolness of saying you live in Tokyo. In Bosnia, you could probably get a whole house with a garden for the price of a parking spot in central Tokyo.
You garden. Imagine. You could grow your own barrack ingredients. Oh, okay. Maybe not the dark art, but still. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina sounds like a budget traveler's paradise, right? Like you could actually afford to eat and see the sights without living on instant noodles for a month?
Paradise might be a strong word, Mira, unless your paradise is paved with cobblestones and filled with the scent of grilling meat. But yes, Bosnia and Herzegovina is incredibly affordable compared to most of Europe, let alone Japan. Food is cheap, transport is reasonable, and you can find decent accommodation without weeping into your wallet.
Grilling meat paradise sounds pretty good to me. But what about Japan then? Is it all doom and gloom for your bank account? Surely there are ways to experience Japan without declaring bankruptcy.
Well, unless you're planning to dine exclusively on Kobe beef and stay in 5-star Raikkones, you can 5-star Raikkones. You can manage Japan without needing affordable if you stick to ramen shops, izakayas, and local eateries, and their public transport system, while efficient and extensive, can add up. But it's still generally cheaper than arriving, especially with those Tokyo parking prices we mentioned.
Alright, Nan. Oh, now you're speaking my language. And izakayas. Aren't those like fun little pubs? So, Japan isn't just about emptying your pockets, it's about being smart about where you spend, right?
Precisely, Mira. It's about being savvy and knowing where to look. Think of it as a high-stakes game of economic hide-and-seek. You can find affordable gems if you know where to peek behind the flashy neon signs. Bosnia is more like, everything's pretty upfront and wallet-friendly.
Economic open book versus high-stakes hide-and-seek. I love it. For our listeners thinking of jetting off to either Bosnia or Japan and checking out Joshua for more info, what's the bottom line on their budgets? Bosnia for budget backpacking bear covers in Japan for savvy sushi seekers.
Pretty much nailed it, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina is fantastic if you want to stretch your travel budget and experience a culturally rich country without the financial strain. Japan, on the other hand, offers an incredible, unique experience, but you need to be prepared as an inevitable in major cities. Think of it as an investment in amazing memories, and maybe a slightly lighter bank account.
Amazing memories in the slightly lighter bank account. Sounds like the tagline for our next travel brochure. Okay. Economic showdown, Bosnia wins on affordability, Japan wins on being Japan. Wow. Up next, let's tackle something a little less about money and a little more about, well, what's next, Leo? You pick. Our current topic. We compare accommodation options on quality into countries, revealing what expats can expect from housing markets. From rental apartments to traditional houses. Let's see where our listeners might want to unpack their suitcases.
Unpack suitcases? Mira, with my travel style, I practically live out of a suitcase. But yeah, accommodation is key. You don't want to end up in a place where the only quality is how quickly you can escape. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina first, right?
Well, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, especially in cities like Sarajevo, you'll find a mix of apartments, houses, and even some charming old Ottoman-style homes. Rental apartments are quite common, and you can find them in varying qualities. Think of it like a box of chocolates. Some are delightful, and some, well, let's just say they're an acquired taste.
An acquired taste? Like those chocolates that taste suspiciously like soap? So, quality-wise, are we talking rustic charm or slightly crumbling? Because rustic charm is code for needs a lot of work, isn't it?
Sometimes it leans into rustic charm, which can be wonderfully authentic, you know. Imagine a cozy apartment with wooden floors and maybe even a balcony overlooking a bustling street. Oh, but you do need to be prepared for places that might be a bit older and maybe not as polished as what you're used to if you're coming from, say, Western Europe.
Polished like my jokes. Always. Always. So Bosnia is authentic, which means potentially dusty. Kinda now, Japan. On the other side of the planet, I'm picturing ultra-modern, tiny apartments where you can touch all four walls at once.
Tiny apartments in Japan are definitely a thing, especially in bustling cities like Tokyo. It's like living in a meticulously organized dollhouse. But don't let the size fool you. Japanese apartments are usually designed with incredible efficiency and quality in mind.
Efficiency, that's the Japanese keyword, right? I bet their apartments come with instructions manuals thicker than Russian novels. So, even if it's small, it's probably packed with gadgets and everything works like clockwork.
Think of it as capsule hotels, but for long-term living. Even in small spaces, you often get high-quality finishes, clever storage solutions, and everything is designed to maximize space. You might be surprised how comfortable and functional these smaller apartments can be.
Comfortable and functional like a Swiss Army knife apartment. But what if you want something bigger in Japan? Are we talking mansions that cost more than small countries? Or are there more normal options for regular folks?
Well, mansions in Tokyo probably do cost more than some small countries. But outside the super central areas, you can find larger apartments and houses. Especially if you move a bit further out from the major city centers. You might even find traditional Japanese houses with tatami mats and sliding doors.
Tatami mats and sliding doors. Sounds like a movie set. So in Japan, you could be in a hyper-modern capsule 1 minute, and then living like a samurai the next. Talk about the price difference. Is my wallet going to cry in either of these places?
Wallet cries are never fun. Generally, accommodation in Bosnia and Herzegovina is more affordable than in Japan, especially for rentals. You can get more space for your money there. Think of it as getting a family-sized chocolate box for the price of a single in some other places.
Family-sized chocolate for the price of a single Bosnia is sounding better for my sweet to pay ND my wallet. But Japan can't be THAT expensive across the board, can it? Surely there are budget options even if they are, RELLY efficient.
Japan can be pricey, especially in major cities. But it's not all doom and gloom for your budget. If you're willing to live a bit outside the city center, or consider smaller apartments, or even share a house with roommates, you can definitely find more affordable options. It's all about being a bit savvy and doing your research.
Savvy and researching sounds like homework. But okay, I get it. Bosnia is wallet-friendly and rustic charm is a possibility, while Japan is efficient, can be tiny, and might require winning the lottery to afford a mansion. Anything else we should know about accommodation in these two wildly different places?
Well, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, you might find that amenities like air conditioning aren't always standard, especially in older buildings. Summers can get hot, so that's something to consider. And in Japan, earthquake preparedness is built into many modern buildings, which is pretty reassuring, if you think about it. Wow!
Earthquake-proof apartments? Now that's a selling point. Forget rustic charm, I want disaster-proof chic. So, no AC in Bosnia potentially, but earthquake-proof in Japan it's like choosing between sweating or slightly trembling, depending on your priorities.
Well, hopefully not too much trembling. But yeah, those are some of the nuances. And generally, in Japan, you can expect a very high standard of cleanliness and maintenance and accommodation. Even in older buildings, they take pride in keeping things pristine.
Pristine, I like the sound of that. My idea of cleaning is usually just hiding things under the rug. Maybe Japan could teach me a thing or two. So for accommodation, Bosnia is the budget-friendly, potentially rustic option, while Japan is efficient. Can be small but high-quality second mortgage for palace. Is that a good summary, Mira?
That's a fantastic and hilariously accurate summary, Leo. For listeners planning a move, definitely weigh your priorities and budget when choosing between the choosing box of Bosnian options and the efficient dollhouses of Japan. Oh, and maybe pack a fan for Bosnia and earthquake insurance for Japan. Just kidding.
Earthquake insurance and a really good fan. Got it. Maybe I'll just stick to hotels for now. Less commitment and someone else cleans the pristine efficiency for me. But seriously, good points, Mira. Up next, what are we diving into?
Jenna Fai is your accommodation guru for Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. And everywhere else, really? Ooh. Oh, okay. What's next on our list, Leo? Let's keep this country comparison train rolling. Our current topic, we compare the ease of visa, immigration, and official procedures into countries, highlighting the joys and occasional bureaucratic puzzles. So, buckle up, listeners, because we're diving into the wonderful world of paperwork, visas, and immigration lines. First up, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Bosnia and Herzegovina. Sounds like a tongue twister, doesn't it? But hey, maybe their visa process is easier to pronounce than their country name. So Mira, spill the beans. Is getting into Bosnia and Herzegovina like strolling through a park or climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops?
Well, Leo, I wouldn't say Mount Everest in flip-flops, more like a pleasant hike with a slightly confusing map. For many tourists, especially from Europe and some other countries, Bosnia and Herzegovina actually offers visa-free entry for a certain period. You'll imagine that. Just pack your bags and go.
Wow, visa-free sounds almost too good to be true. Is it like they're just handing out Bosnian passports at the border with a complimentary barrack? Just kidding, but seriously, that's pretty relaxed compared to some places where you need to apply for a visa before you even dream of booking a flight.
Exactly. It can be quite straightforward for short tourist stays. Of course, if you're planning to move there permanently or work, things get a bit more Bosnian. But for a vacation, it's generally quite welcoming. Think of it as a warm hug at the border, not a stern handshake.
I warm hug at the border. I like that. Much better than the icy stare you sometimes get at immigration. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina sounds like the chill friend in the visa world. But what about Japan? Is Japan more like the strict librarian choosing you for even thinking about entering without the right forms?
Yeah, you've nailed it with the librarian analogy. Japan, on the other hand, is known for being meticulous. Let's say imagine organizing your sock drawer, and then multiplying that by 1,000,000, and that's kind of the level of detail we're talking about with Japanese procedures. Wow.
Sock drawer times 1,000,000. Ouch. My sock drawer is already a chaotic mess, so I'm slightly terrified. But seriously, Japan has a reputation for being quite organized and efficient, which I guess extends to their immigration stuff too. So, is it a mountain of paperwork and appointments just to get a tourist visa?
For some nationalities, yes. There might be a bit more paperwork involved for a tourist visa than Bosnia. However, Japan also offers visa exemptions for many countries, particularly for short tourist stays. Oh, so if you're lucky enough to be from one of those countries, you might be pleasantly surprised.
So, it's not always climbing Mount Fuji in paperwork flip-flops. Yeah, that's good to know. But I bet even with visa exemptions, the actual immigration process in Japan is probably super efficient, right? No chaotic lines and shouting matches.
Oh, incredibly efficient. Japanese immigration is like a well-oiled, super polite machine. They are masters of queue management. Wow. Expect orderly lines, polite officials, and everything to run like clockwork. It's almost therapeutic.
Therapeutic immigration? Now that's a new concept? Maybe they should offer calming tea and minis and gardens in the immigration hall. Okay, so Japan is efficient, but Bosnia and Herzegovina is more relaxed on the visa front. What about longer stays, like if you were to live or work in either country? Does the Saktra CAS level go up for Bosnia and Herzegovina then?
For longer stays into immigration, Bosnia and Herzegovina, while still potentially less strict than some European countries, will definitely involve more bureaucracy. You might find yourself navigating local offices, dealing with paperwork in Bosnian, and maybe needing a bit of patience.
Phrasebook and a sense of humor noted. Sounds like an adventure in itself. And what about Japan? I'm imagining super detailed application forms in triplicate, requiring blood type and favorite haiku?
Not quite blood type and haiku, Leo, but for long-term visas in Japan, expect a very thorough process. They are very meticulous, and you'll need to provide detailed documentation, and the process can take time. Well, it's all about following the rules precisely. Think of it as a very structured dance. You need to know all the steps perfectly.
A structured dance of paperwork sounds graceful. So, Japan is definitely more formal and rigorous when it comes to long-term immigration. But I guess that efficiency comes at a price, right?
Japan prioritizes order and procedure. While it can be efficient, it also means less flexibility and potentially more stringent requirements. Bosnia and Herzegovina might be a bit more, let's say, flexible in some aspects, but also potentially less streamlined.
Flexible bureaucracy, is that even a thing? It sounds like an oxymoron, but I get your point. So for ease of visa procedures, Bosnia and Herzegovina seems to win for short tourist visits, while Japan wins for, well, maybe not ease, but definitely efficiency once you get through the process.
It really depends on what you value, more simplicity and a potentially warmer welcome, or extreme efficiency and rigorous process. For a quick trip, Bosnia and Herzegovina might feel like a breeze. For a long-term move, Japan offers a very structured, albeit potentially more demanding path.
So, if you like your bureaucracy with a side of barrack and a warm hug, maybe Bosnia and Herzegovina is your place. And if you prefer your paperwork perfectly organized with a side of zen and super politeness, then Japan is calling. Either way, pack your patience, folks.
And don't forget to check specific visa requirements for your nationality before you pack your bags, no matter which country you choose. Oops. That's the most important part, isn't it? This broadcast is brought to you by Jetofe. I. For your travel musings and hopefully less bureaucratic journeys.
Yes, Jet Off AI, your guide to navigating the world, hopefully with fewer passport photos gone wrong. And if you enjoyed our visa adventures today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ooh, maybe liking will magically simplify your next visa application. Who knows? Exactly. It's like choosing between a perfectly brewed matcha, a ceremony and a strong black Bosnian coffee and a tiny ZZVA. Both have their own appeal, depending on your taste for bureaucratic spice.
Bureaucratic spice. Leo, you're on fire today. So, listeners, when you're thinking about visas and official stuff, consider your own patience levels and your tolerance for adventure versus predictability.
Adventure versus predictability, and maybe pack a few extra forms just in case. No matter where you go. It's better safe than sorry in the world of visas, eh?
Our current topic, we compare access to and quality of health services into countries, examining healthcare through an expert lens. From scratchy throats to full-blown emergencies, health is wealth, right? So Leo, if you suddenly needed a doctor in, say, Bosnia, what's your first move?
Bosnia and Herzegovina, you say. My first move would probably be to dramatically cough a few times, just to make sure everyone knows I'm feeling peaky. Just to make sure everyone knows I'm feeling peaky. But seriously, I guess it depends on what kind of helking about. Is it stub my toe on a cobblestone level, or think I wrestled a bear and lost level?
Bear wrestling in Bosnia. Now that's a YouTube video waiting to happen. Wow, okay. Let's say it's more than a stub toe, maybe you ate something questionable at a roadside barrack stand. Ouch.
I've been there, metaphorically speaking. In that case, I'd probably start by asking around at my hotel or wherever I'm staying. Local advice is go right. Maybe they can point me to a decent clinic or doctor who's staying.
Good thinking, Leo. Local intel is key. And what about Japan? Imagine you're in Tokyo, surrounded by dazzling lights, and suddenly you feel like you swallowed a karaoke microphone sideways. Ouch.
Whoa, karaoke through a dawn row? In Tokyo? First, I'd probably panic internally in a very polite and controlled Japanese way, of course. Then I'd probably whip out my phone and start frantically searching for English-speaking Dr. Tokyo because my Japanese is limited to arigato and konnichiwa.
I gotcha. Probably what pure karaoke-induced sore throat. But seriously, Japan has a reputation for amazing healthcare, right? Like futuristic robots and super efficient systems. Wow!
That's the image, isn't it? Isn't it? Efficient, maybe even a little bit intimidatingly high-tech. I imagine in Japan, you'd get seen quickly, everything would be spotless, and the doctors would be incredibly thorough, even if they communicate with you through a translator app.
True. Bosnia, on the other hand, I'm picturing maybe a bit more rustic. Like, charmingly old school. Maybe with doctors who have seen it all and can diagnose you just by looking at your tongue.
Rustic charm is a nice way to put it. I'm picturing waiting rooms with slightly faded posters and maybe a doctor who offers you strong coffee while he writes your prescription by hand. There's a certain comforting vibe to that, in a way.
Definitely a different vibe. But when it comes to actual quality, I wonder how they stack up. Like, are we talking cutting-edge treatments in Japan versus, well, what in Bosnia?
Well, Japan is definitely in the top tier globally when it comes to medical technology and expertise. They're pioneers in a lot of fields, and their healthcare system is generally very well funded and organized. You'd expect top-notch care there. Wow!
No surprise there. In Bosnia, I'm guessing it might be a bit more variable. Like you might find some excellent doctors, but maybe the facilities aren't quite as shiny and new?
Yeah, I think that's probably closer to reality. Bosnia and Herzegovina has been through a lot, and the healthcare system is still recovering and developing. You might find dedicated and skilled doctors, but resources might be more limited, and waiting times could be longer for certain procedures.
That's the universal healthcare headache, isn't it? Even in countries with great systems, sometimes you feel like you're waiting longer to see a doctor than it takes to learn a new language.
True, and language barriers. Imagine trying to explain your symptoms when you only know hello and thank you in the local language. That's comedy gold, but not so fun when you're actually feeling unwell. Oops!
So, for expats, language is a huge factor in accessing healthcare in both places, right? Especially if you're outside the major cities.
Absolutely. In Japan, especially outside of Tokyo and other big tourist hubs, English might be less common in clinics and hospitals. You might need to rely on translation services or bring a Japanese-speaking friend.
And in Bosnia, is English widely spoken in medical settings, do you think? Or are we back to charades and Google Translate?
In Bosnia, especially in Sarajevo and other larger towns, you'll probably find some doctors and staff who speak English, particularly in private clinics, but in smaller towns and public hospitals. Knowing some Bosnian or having a translator would be really helpful. It's not as universally English-speaking as, say, Scandinavia.
So, basically, if you're an expat in either country, getting some local language skills or finding a good translator is a smart move for healthcare access. Like, doctor. I think I swallowed a joke book.
And the punchline is excruciating pain, but yeah, language prep is key. And also understanding the insurance situation. That's always a fun maze to navigate in a new country.
The paperwork monster of healthcare. Does Japan have a good public health insurance system that expats can tap into? Or is it mostly private insurance territory?
Japan has a universal health insurance system, which is fantastic. Expats who are residents and working in Japan can usually enroll in the public health insurance, which covers a significant portion of medical costs. It's generally very affordable and accessible.
That's great news for anyone thinking of moving to Japan. What about Bosnia? Is it more of a public system, private, or a mix?
Bosnia and Herzegovina has a public healthcare system, but it's often underfunded and can be bureaucratic. Private healthcare is growing, and it might be a better option for expats who want faster standards of care, but it's obviously more expensive.
For expats in Bosnia, private insurance might be the way to go for peace of mind. And maybe pack a phrasebook and a lot of patience for navigating the public system if needed.
Exactly. Patience, phrasebook, and maybe a good sense of humor to get you through any bureaucratic hiccups. Because healthcare systems, no matter how good, always seem to have a bit of, let's call it, character.
Character is a nice way to put it. So, if we're ranking them for expats purely on access and quality of health services, Japan seems like a clear winner, right? Top-notch quality, good public insurance access well.
On paper, yeah, Japan scores very high. But it's also worth considering cost. While public insurance in Japan is affordable, private healthcare can be pricey, specialized treatment. And even with good insurance, out-of-pocket costs can add up.
True, healthcare cost can be a sneaky beast. What about Bosnia? Is it generally more affordable for healthcare, even if the quality might be more variable?
Yes, healthcare in Bosnia and Herzegovina is generally much more affordable than in Japan, even in the private sector. That can be a significant factor, especially for expats on a budget. You might get good value for your money, even if it's not always the most cutting-edge facilities.
So, it's a trade-off as always. Japan potentially higher quality, more organized, but possibly pricier overall. Bosnia more affordable, maybe a bit less polished, but still capable of providing care.
Precisely. And personal priorities come into play. If top-tier medical facilities and cutting-edge treatments are your absolute priority, and budget is less of a concern, Japan is a strong contender. If affordability is key, and you're comfortable with potentially navigating a less streamlined system, Bosnia might be a more budget-friendly option.
And maybe for Bosnia, factor in the cost of a really good sense of humor in the subscription to a language learning app. But hey, both countries offer unique experiences, and healthcare is just one piece of the puzzle. If you like this podcast, you can like it. And if you want to know more about expat life, Jeddah is the place to be.
Spot on, Mira! And if you're trying to decide between these two for your next adventure, hopefully, this gives you a bit more to think about beyond just the karaoke scene and the barrack stands. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more country comparisons.
Alright, Leo. Buckle up, Buttercup. Let's talk about getting around in Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. It's like comparing a charming, slightly chaotic or efficient bullet train experience. Wouldn't you say?
You're right on track. Bosnia and Herzegovina, bless its heart, is like that old car you love, full of character. A bit bumpy, but gets you there eventually. Japan, on the other hand, is like a spaceship disguised as a train.
I love it. So, if we're thinking public transport, in Japan, it's like they invented punctuality. You can set your watch by those trains, right? I heard they even apologize if a train is seconds late.
Seconds late. In Bosnia, if the bus shows up within the hour, it's considered early. It's on Bosnian time, which is a beautiful concept, but maybe not if you're trying to catch a flight.
But you know, there's something lovely about that relaxed pace in Bosnia. Taking a bus through those gorgeous mountains, even if it takes a while, the views are worth it. It's like slow travel at its finest.
True scenic route guaranteed. In Japan, you're whizzing past stunning scenery at 300 kilometers an hour, which is amazing, but maybe you missed the chance to really soak it in. It's like fast food versus the slow-cooked Bosnians to both have their merits, right?
Bosnian stew. Now you're talking my language. Speaking of food, I bet you can get a delicious barrack at almost any Bosnian bus station. Can you get sushi at a Japanese train station?
You absolutely can get sushi at a Japanese train station, Mira. In fact, you can get pretty much anything. Those stations are like mini cities. But a warm, flaky barrack at a Bosnian bus stop does sound pretty amazing too.
Okay. Let's smoothly transition into our next stop on this comparative journey, zooming into transportation infrastructure and convenience. Because let's be real, getting around is half the battle, right?
Indeed, Mira. If a country's transport is a mess, even the best sites are a pain to reach. We're talking about how easy it is to navigate daily life, from buses that might show up sometime this century to bullet trains that practically teleport you. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan in the transport train, ding ding.
All right, Bosnia and Herzegovina first. Now, picture this beautiful landscapes, right? Mountains, rivers, but sometimes the roads are like, surprise, pothole party. Ouch. It's got a more scenic route vibe, shall we say? Especially outside the main cities.
Scenic route is a polite way of saying hold on for dear life. I imagine driving in Bosnia can be an adventure sport in itself, like an off-road rally, but you're just trying to get to Grandma's house.
And public transport, while there is, let's call it cozy. Buses and trams do their best, but schedules? More like suggestions. Aha. You really gotta embrace the go with the flow mentality.
Go with the flow meaning maybe the bus will come, maybe it won't. Who knows, let's just enjoy the mystery. Sounds like character building transport. In Japan though, go with the flow means flow like a perfectly timed, super efficient, and probably sane bullet train.
Prepare for transport heaven. We're talking trains that are so punctual, they apologize if they're 30 seconds late. 30 seconds! Whoa, my coffee order takes longer than that.
30 seconds late in Japan is a national emergency. The train conductor probably has to write a haiku of apology to each passenger. Meanwhile, in Bosnia, the bus being on time would be a headline news story.
Totally. And Japan's train network. It's like a Spitterbird of steel efficiency covering the entire country. From the legendary Shinkansen to local lines, you can get practically anywhere by rail, smoothly and swiftly.
Yeah, Japan's train system is so good, it's almost intimidating. You feel like you need a PhD in timetables just to figure it out. But once you do, you're zooming around like you're in a futuristic travel ad.
And think about city transport in Japan. Tokyo West subway system is a masterpiece. Clean, efficient, and it runs like clockwork, even during rush hour. Okay, maybe during rush hour you're packed in like sardines. But hey, sardines on time. Oh.
Sardine class in Tokyo is probably still more comfortable than first class on some other countries' trains. Bosnia's cities are more walkable, I guess. Unless you're trying to walk uphill both ways, which feels like every street in Sarajevo sometimes.
True. Bosnian cities have that charm of being walkable. And you can stumble upon amazing cafes and hidden gyms just wandering around. But when you need to cover distance quickly and reliably, Japan is in a whole different league, like a space league. Wow.
Space League indeed. Japan's airports to Haneda and Tokyo are like perfectly oiled machines. Everything runs smoothly from check-in to baggage claim. You almost forget you're in an airport. It's so civilized.
Bosnia and Herzegovina has Sarajevo International, which is well. It's more about function over flash. Let's put it that way.
Function over flash is a kind way of saying expect delays and maybe packs next for unexpected airport naps. But hey, at least you're not paying a fortune for airport coffee in Sarajevo, unlike some Japanese airports where your latte costs as much as a small car.
Okay, fair point on the airport coffee prices. But still, for sheer convenience and infrastructure, Japan is miles ahead in the transport game. It's built for speed, efficiency, and getting you where you need to be stress-free.
Stress-free travel in Japan. It's almost guaranteed. In Bosnia, stress-free travel is when you arrive at your destination and the car is still in one piece. But hey, both offer unique travel experiences just at opposite ends of the convenience spectrum.
Bosnia is for the adventurous soul who enjoys the journey, potholes and all. And Japan is for the traveler who values time, efficiency, and maybe a little bit of futuristic travel magic. Oh, both have their own charm, just depends what kind of trip you're after.
Charm is good, but sometimes you just want to get from point A to point B without feeling like you're starring in your own action movie. For that, Japan wins, hands down. Unless you actually want to star in Bosnia and road movie, in which case buckle up.
Okay, Point taken. For top-notch transportation infrastructure and just plain getting around easily, Japan takes the bullet train trophy. But Bosnia, well, it offers more. Well, it offers a more memorable journey. Oops, maybe we should move on to the next topic before I dig myself into a pothole-sized joke. Our current topic. We compare language barriers on Ds of communication into countries. From language diversity stats to cultural communication styles, let's dive into how chatty or challenged you might feel.
Right, Mira, because nothing screams vacation like pulling out a phrase book and realizing it's thicker than your novel. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan, huh? Prepare for some linguistic gymnastics.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, or as I like to call it, Balkans Bonanza. They've got Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian. It's like a linguistic smoothie. Oh. So, I hear if you know one, Yuri can just set for the others, right? Alrighty. Language barriers. Let's chat about talking our way through Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan, shall we? You know, sometimes I feel like my mouth is a translator gone rogue, just blurting out random phrases.
Speaking of rogue translator apps, I once used one in a foreign country and it translated "where is the bathroom?" as "where do you bury the bodies?" The look on the hotel clerk's face was priceless. Anyway, Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Linguistically, it's like comparing a chatty Covent Garden.
Ooh, same garden? Are we talking about whispering secrets to KO I fish in Japan, Leah? Because in Bosnia, I imagine it's more like shouting your order across the bustling marketplace. Am I close?
Close enough, Mira. Enough, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina has Bosnian, Croatian, and Serbian, all pretty similar but distinct, like siblings who borrow each other's clothes and pretend they're original. Japan, on the other hand, is mostly Japanese. A linguistic island, unique and sometimes feels like it's designed to keep foreigners guessing.
Linguistic siblings fighting over closet space. Love it. So, if I go to Bosnia, can I just confidently yell cow and hope for the best? Or will I end up ordering a plate of, like, fermented cabbage by accident? Oops.
Cow will get you pretty far in Bosnia, Mira, especially for hello and goodbye. It's like the Swiss Army knife of Slavic greetings. But if you try that in Japan, you might get a polite but utterly confused tilt of the head. They're more into konnichiwa and bowing, which is way more elegant than my usual clumsy wave.
Bowing. Oh, I love bowing. It's like a mini dance of politeness. Oh, but seriously, what about English? Can I rely on my trusty American accent to get me some directions in Sarajevo? Or will I need to dust off my mind skills?
In touristy parts of Sarajevo and other Bosnian cities, you'll find some English speakers, especially younger folks. Think of it as a pleasant surprise, like finding an extra fry at the bottom of your fast food bag. Japan, major cities, yes, especially in hotels and tourist info centers. But water off the beaten path and you might be relying more on gestures and pointing. Unless you've mastered the art of charades with chopsticks.
Charades with chopsticks. That's my new Olympic sport. Imagine trying to mime where's the nearest Raymond shop, using only chopsticks. The possibilities. Wow. But back to Bosnia. Are we talking like Italian levels of hand gestures to communicate? Or is it more of a stoic, Clint Eastwood vibe?
Bosnians are generally pretty expressive, Mira, especially when they get passionate, which is often. Think more lively Italian cafe, less stoic cowboy. Japanese communication can be more subtle, relying on context and unspoken cues. It's like reading between the lines, except the lines are visible ink sometimes.
Invisible ink lines? Intriguing. So, in Japan, is it like, if I ask for directions, they might just point vaguely eastward and expect me to telepathically understand the rest? Whereas in Bosnia, they might draw me a map in the air with their hands and throw in a mini history lesson for free.
Pretty much, Mira, in Japan. You might get a polite smile, a nod, and a general direction. In Bosnia, you might get a detailed verbal map, a local anecdote, and an invitation for coffee afterwards. Bosnians are known for their hospitality, making communication often warmer, even if you don't speak the language fluently.
Coffee invitations. That's the spirit. So, if I accidentally wander into the wrong Bosnian village and only know how to say coffee, please in Bosnian, I'm basically set for life, right? Whereas in Japan, I might just end up politely lost but with excellent manners.
Exactly. In Bosnia, KFA, mal im is your survival phrase. You might get adopted by a Bosnian grandma who insists on feeding you berk and teaching you local slang. In Japan, you might be politely guided back to the tourist trail with a gentle bow and a pamphlet in English. Both countries have their charms, just different communication vibes.
Barakin Bosnian grandmas versus polite pamphlets and bows. It's like choosing between a warm hug and a perfectly folded origami crane. Ooh, bothly, but very different. So, language barrier-wise, which one is easier to navigate for a clueless tourist like yours truly?
For sheer ease of getting by with English, probably Bosnia and Herzegovina in tourist hotspots. But Japan is so well organized and signage in major areas is often bilingual, you can still manage. It really boils down to your comfort level with venturing outside your linguistic comfort zone and just maybe ordering fermented cabbage by mistake.
Fermented cabbage adventure it is. You know, maybe accidentally ordering weird food is half the fun of travel anyway. Whoa, it's like a culinary surprise party. So, language barrier Bosnia, a bit more English-friendly and chatty Japan, more polite gestures and organized chaos. Got it. Thanks, Leah. Thanks, Leah.
Anytime, Mira. And hey, if you do end up in Bosnia and someone offers you rakia, just nod and say holla. It's polite, and you might need the strong stuff to navigate those fermented cabbage culinary surprises we were talking about. Precisely. Bosnia is like dipping your toes in the language pool. Japan is like being thrown into the deep end with arm floaties made of phrasebook and a prayer. Huh? But hey, both are incredible places to visit. Language challenges and all.
And remember, listeners, a smile and a good attitude go a L&G way, no matter where you are. Plus, awkward language moments make for the best travel stories, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more country comparisons.
And for all your travel planning needs, head over to Jet-Off-A. They've got more than just translation apps, you know. Oh, so, until next time, happy travels and try not to order the wrong thing unless it makes for a great story.
All right, Leo. Speaking of blending in or standing out, let's jump into cultural diversity and tolerance. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Opposite indeed, Mira. Bosnia, you walk down the street and it's like a history lesson in demographics just by looking at the faces. Japan, on the other hand, feels like everyone got the same memo on hair color and fashion trends. Makes you wonder if they have a national style guide.
A national style guide for Japan. I can just picture it. Chapter 1 beige is the new everything. Chapter 2, Chapter 1. Oh. But seriously, Bosnia is fascinating because it's like a living mosaic. You've got Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats, all mixed together historically with different religions too. It's like a cultural smoothie, maybe a bit chunky sometimes, but definitely flavorful.
Chunky smoothies, right, Mira? More like a spicy stew that's been simmering for centuries and occasionally boils over. Bosnia's history is intense. You can't talk about diversity there without acknowledging the war, the ethnic divisions. It's a place where tolerance isn't just a nice word in a textbook, it's a daily, sometimes hourly effort.
And that effort is so visible. In Sarajevo, you can literally stand on a street corner and hear the call to prayer from a mosque, church bells ringing, maybe even the faint sounds of a synagogue. It's this incredible soundscape of different faiths coexisting, or, makes you think, doesn't it?
Makes you think, and maybe makes you a little nervous too, if you remember the not-so-distant past. Japan, in contrast, their diversity is more like different shades of cherry blossom pink. They're famously homogeneous, and for a long time, that was kind of the point. Conformity, group harmony, all that jazz.
Shades of cherry blossom pink. Love it, Leo. But even in Japan, things are changing slowly but surely. You're seeing more immigrants, more people from different backgrounds, especially in big cities like Tokyo. It's not the same kind of in-your-face diversity you get in Bosnia, but it's there. It's growing. That.
Growing, yes, but let's be real, Mira. Japan isn't exactly throwing open its doors and shouting, "Come on, come all." They have a very specific idea of what Japanese means, and it's not always easy to fit in if you don't tick all the boxes. It's more like, come visit, spend your tourist dollars, but maybe don't pack for too long.
Oops, I've been harsh, Leo. But there's a point there. Japan's tolerance, historically, has been more about internal harmony within their own group, rather than embracing a wide range of different cultures. But you know what? I've heard stories, even in smaller Japanese towns, of incredible kindness and acceptance towards foreigners, especially if you try to learn the language and show respect for their customs.
Kindness, yes. Politeness to a fault, absolutely. But genuine, deep-seated tolerance of real difference, that's still a work in progress for Japan, I think. Whereas in Bosnia, they've been forced to confront difference head-on for centuries. They've got a PhD in dealing with diversity, even if it's been a very painful education.
A painful PhD. That's a good way to put it, Leo. But maybe that hard-earned experience is something the world can learn from. Bosnia shows us that diversity, even when it's messy and complicated, can be a source of strength, of resilience. And maybe Japan, as it opens up more, can learn from places like Bosnia about navigating those complexities with more will. Maybe not always grace, but at least with a gritty kind of determination.
Gritty determinations, spiced with a healthy dose of Balkan stubbornness, I'd say. And maybe Japan can teach Bosnia queuing and not shouting on public transport. Just kidding mostly. But seriously, both countries offer really different lessons in what cultural divergence and look like, and how societies grapple with it. If you're watching this on YouTube, maybe share your own experiences in the comments. Are you from a diverse place? If it's higher or a more homogenous one, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, tell us your stories. And if you're curious to explore more about cultural nuances and global adventures, definitely check out Jet Off AI. They have tons of resources for travelers and global minds. Maybe even some tips on how to politely navigate a Japanese tea ceremony or order Siva PC. I see in Sarajevo without butchering the pronunciation.
Siva PCICI pronunciation lessons now, that's a podcast episode did listen to. But yeah, Jet Off AI is the place to go for all things global and travel related. And for more of our witty banter and hopefully insightful comparisons, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate tuning in, folks.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends who are debating between a Zen garden and a Bosnian bazaar. Oh, until next time, stay culturally curious and maybe try new food from a different culture this week. Bye for now. Rocky our diplomacy. We should patent that, Leo. But seriously, I wonder about personal stories, you know. Imagine being a minority in Japan versus Bosnia. Probably very different experiences. Well,
Hugely different. Being a visible minority in Japan, you might stand out, face some, let's call it curiosity. In Bosnia, depending on where and who you are, you might be part of a majority in another, and that comes with its own set of historical baggage. Whoa.
historical baggage. Yes, that phrase for Bosnia, isn't it? It's like every street corner has a story, and sometimes those stories are heavy. In Japan, maybe the personal stories are more about fitting in, finding your place in a very structured society.
Structured is an understatement, Mira. Japanese society is like a perfectly organized bento box. Everything in its place. Bosnian society is more like a delicious but slightly messy platter of mixed grill. You get a bit of everything, and sometimes things spill over.
Oh, a mixed grill. Now I'm hungry. But you're right. It's a different kind of tolerance. Japan's might be more about politeness and not causing waves on the surface. Bosnia's might be about living side by side despite waves crashing all around you.
Waves crashing, and sometimes throwing barrack at each other. Just kidding. Mostly kidding. But yeah, tolerance in Japan can feel very formal, very polite. In Bosnia, it can be more real maybe, rah? Like we argue, we disagree, but we're still neighbors?
More real, I like that description for Bosnia. It's like we've seen the worst, so we know we have to figure out how to live together, even if we drive each other crazy sometimes.
Exactly. Dot each other crazy, but still show up for the funeral or the wedding or whatever. That's Bosnian tolerance in a nutshell. Jump in well. You might not even know your neighbor's name, but you'd be incredibly polite if you bumped into them in the hallway.
So, to wrap up this culturally diverse, tolerant, and slightly chaotic comparison, Bosnia and Herzegovina, a vibrant, sometimes volatile mix, learning to live together through history's ups and downs. Japan, a harmonious, structured society valuing group cohesion and politeness. Both fascinating, both very different. Wow.
Fascinating and different indeed, Mira. One, a history lesson in messy coexistence. The other, a masterclass in serene harmony. Pick your flavor, folks, and maybe check out Jen Off AI for more cultural comparisons, minus the Barrack and Rocky yaw for now.
Speaking of adventures, let's smoothly transition to something that can be a real journey of discovery, shall we? I'm talking about education, folks. And today, we're diving into the world of learning in Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan.
Education, you say? Well, that sounds less like a caffeine-fueled escapade and more like a caffeine-fueled study session. But hey, knowledge is power, right? And comparing Bosnia and Herzegovina to Japan in this area, that's like comparing a charming old world bookstore to a futuristic, robot-run library.
Exactly, Leo. Bosnia and Herzegovina, with its rich history and resilient spirit, has been making strides in education. You know, after some tough times, they're really focused on building a strong future, and education is key. Think of it as a country rebuilding its knowledge foundation brick by brick, but with that amazing Balkan hospitality sprinkled in.
Brick by brick, or maybe, considering the terrain, stone by stone? Japan, on the other hand, it's like they built their education system with bullet trains in mind efficiency, speed, high speed, and always on track. Wow, they're famous for their rigorous academics. And you know, sometimes I wonder if Japanese kids are born with textbooks in their hands.
Oh, you're teasing. But there's truth to it. Japan's emphasis on discipline and hard work is legendary. It's like from kindergarten, they're gently guided to become little knowledge ninjas. Oh. Bosnia and Herzegovina, in contrast, might have a more relaxed approach, maybe with a bit more room for individual flair. Imagine learning history while sipping Bosnian coffee now. That's my kind of classroom.
Bosnian coffee in history class? Sounds delightful. I bet the history lessons are extra dramatic then. In Japan, it's probably more like meticulously studying ancient scrolls under the watchful eye of a sensei. But seriously, both countries value education just in their own unique styles. Japan is all about structured excellence, while Bosnia and Herzegovina might be about nurturing potential with a personal touch.
Personal touch. I love that, Leo. When it comes to language schools, both countries offer some interesting paths. If you're thinking of learning Bosnian, you're in for a treat. It's a beautiful Slavic language, and learning it in Bosnia and Herzegovina immerses you in the culture immediately. Imagine practicing your phrases while exploring Sarajevo's old town.
Sarajevo's old town and Bosnian language lessons. Sounds like a perfect combo for a romantic comedy. But let's talk about Japan and language schools. Dude, learning Japanese in Japan is like stepping into a whole new world. From intensive language schools in Tokyo to cultural immersion programs in Kyoto, the options are endless. Who would want to learn Japanese so they can finally understand all those anime references?
Anime references are a very valid reason, Leo. And you know, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, learning the language opens doors to understanding the vibrant literature, music, and of course those amazing folk tales. It's like unlocking a secret treasure chest of Balkan culture. Oh, and perhaps you might even pick up a bit of Serbo-Croatian along the way bonus points.
Bonus languages are always good. It's like buy one, get one free, but with linguistic skills. And in Japan, learning Japanese isn't just about words and grammar, it's about understanding a completely different way of thinking and communicating. It's like upgrading your brain software. Plus, imagine ordering sushi in perfect Japanese. That's a superpower right there. Wow.
Sushi ordering superpower. I need that in my life, Leo. But back to Bosnia and Herzegovina. You know, they're also becoming increasingly connected globally, especially within Europe. So, educational opportunities are expanding, and they're keen on international collaborations. It's like the saying, come learn with us. We have history, culture, and amazing barrack.
Barrack is a strong selling point, Mira. I have to admit. But Japan, with its cutting-edge technology and global influence, offers a different kind of appeal, especially for higher education and research. It's like stepping into the future of innovation. Plus, let's not forget the cherry blossoms in spring. Studying under cherry blossoms? That's practically poetic.
Poetic and picturesque. But you know what's also beautiful? The warmth and community you might find in Bosnian educational settings. It could be a more intimate and supportive environment, perhaps like a close-knit family learning together. Oh, and imagine the stories you'd collect, learning in a country where history echoes in every corner. Wow.
History echoing in every corner. And in Japan, you're surrounded by neon lights and the constant hum of a super efficient society. Both are compelling in their own ways, right? It really comes down to what you're looking for in your educational journey. Do you want old world charm with a personal touch, or futuristic efficiency with global connections?
Exactly, Leah. It's about finding your perfect learning vibe, whether it's the historical depth of Bosnia and Herzegovina or the innovative spirit of Japan. Both offer amazing educational adventures. And who knows, maybe Jetofea can help you find the perfect language school in either country.
Jet off AI to the rescue again. They should sponsor our coffee at this point. But seriously, if you're thinking about studying abroad and trying to decide between a Balkan gem and an Asian powerhouse, do your research. Check out Jet off AI and decide what kind of educational flavor you're craving. And don't forget to tell us in the YouTube comments which country you'd pick. Ooh!
Tell us in the comments. Bosnia and Herzegovina or Japan for education, which one sparks your curiosity? And if you like this comparison, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more country showdowns. Maybe next time we compare there. Nightlife. Hey!
Nightlife comparison? Now you're re-talking, Mirror? But for now, that's all for educational opportunities in language schools. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And remember, whether you choose the barrack-fueled classrooms of Bosnia or the sushi-powered study sessions of Japan, learning is always an adventure.
All right, Leah. That thing everyone loves to complain about, no matter where they are. Today, we're diving into the climates of Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. Buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a temperature roller coaster.
A weather roller coaster, huh? Hey, sounds like my dating life. Ups and downs, occasional storms, and you never quite know what you're gonna get. But seriously, Bosnia and Japan. Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum weather-wise.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, nestled in southeastern Europe, boasts a wonderfully diverse climate. Imagine this: you can practically ski in the mountains and sunbathe by the coast in the same day. If you're super speedy and own a convertible helicopter.
A convertible helicopter. Wow, now that's my kind of transport. Though, knowing my luck, I'd probably spill coffee all over the controls. Oh, yeah, Bosnia's got that Mediterranean influence, right? Sounds rather pleasant, dare I say, civilized.
It's lovely. Spring in Bosnia is like nature's grand opening party. Everything bursts into bloom, the air is fresh, and it's just perfect for strolling through Sarajevo or exploring Most Ars Old Bridge without melting into a puddle. Ooh.
Melting into a puddle. Sounds way better than Japanese spring, which is basically just a massive pollen explosion. You can practically see the air turn yellow. It's like nature's way of saying, welcome allergy season, enjoy.
No, pollen explosion. Ouch. But cherry blossoms, though. So pretty. Anyway, Bosnian summers are hot and sunny, especially in the lower regions. Perfect for enjoying a refreshing limonada and pretending you're in a movie scene.
Limonada movie scene sounds delightful. Meanwhile, Japanese summers are like stepping into a sauna, fully clothed, while someone occasionally dumps a bucket of water on you. Whoa! Humidity levels that could make a frog sweat.
A sweating frog in a sauna. Oh, but hey, that's the visual. But hey, at least Bosnian summers are dry, right? Perfect for outdoor adventures, hiking in the Dinar Icy Alps. Maybe even some white water rafting if you're feeling drow.
White water rafting? Ooh, sounds like my kind of chaos. Though, I'd probably end up overboard trying to take a selfie. Oops, but yeah, Japan in summer festivals, fireworks, and sweating profusely while trying to look cool in a yukata. It's a unique experience, I'll give them that.
Yukata sweat chic. Autumn in Bosnia, on the other hand, is like a painting come to life. The leaves turn golden crimson, the temperatures cool down, and it's just breathtakingly beautiful. Perfect for romantic walks or, dramatic brooding if that's your thing.
Dramatic brooding in autumn leaves. Boy, sounds like the title of my next stand-up special. Japanese autumn is pretty stunning too, I have to admit. Maple leaves turning red, it's like nature's last hurrah before winter hits. Less pollen? Thankfully, but still a bit damp.
Damp but beautiful. And then comes winter in Bosnia. Snow blankets the mountains, transforming it into a winter wonderland. Perfect for skiing, snowboarding, or just cozying up by a fireplace with a cup of CHI and a good,
CAJ by the fireplace sounds incredibly civilized. Japanese winter? Depends where you are. Tokyo, it's chilly, but nothing too crazy. But head north to Hokkaido and you're talking serious snow festivals, ice sculptures, and enough white stuff to bury a small car.
Very car snow. Well, so, Japan has the extreme snow, and Bosnia as well. Maybe not extreme, but certainly charmingly varied winters. You get that lovely crisp mountain air, perfect for feeling all invigorated and healthy, before you promptly go inside for more CAJ.
Invigorated and healthy before CAJ. Sounds about right. But yeah, Bosnia's winters, while snowy, are generally Siberian level harsh. Are they? More like manageable winter, with a side of picturesque.
Manageable picturesque. That's the Bosnian climate in a nutshell. Japan, though, it's like they ordered a climate sampler platter. From Subtropical, Okinawa, Taido, you get a bit of everything, sometimes all at once if you travel fast enough.
Hey, climate sampler platter. That's brilliant. So, if you're indecisive about the weather, just go to Japan and travel north to south. By the time you reach Hokkaido, you'll have experienced all 4 seasons, and probably a typhoon or 2 for extra measure.
By thin bonus. Whoa. Okay, maybe not bonus. But yeah, Japan definitely has its share of extreme weather. Typhoons in late summer and autumn, earthquakes Mother Nature likes to keep them on their toes. Ouch.
Mother Nature's way of saying, don't get too comfortable. Bosnia, not so much with the extreme weather, right? Maybe some heavy snow in the mountains, occasional summer thunderstorms pretty tame compared to Japanese weather theatrics.
Tame but beautiful. Bosnia is more about gentle weather shifts, predictable seasons, that kind of thing. Perfect if you like a bit stability in your meteorological moods. Unlike my mood swings after 3 cups of coffee. Oops.
Mood swings after coffee. I know that feeling. But yeah, Bosnia, the land of gentle weather and stunning landscapes. Japan, the land of climate extremes and stunning landscapes too, but with more humidity.
So, if you're packing for Bosnia, think layers, adaptable clothing, and maybe some ski gear if you're visiting in winter. For Japan, pack everything. Seriously, everything. From shorts and shirts to a heavy winter coat and an umbrella that can withstand a typhoon. Wow.
Umbrella that can withstand a typhoon. Sounds like something out of a superhero movie. The point taken. Bosnia, pack for normal weather. Japan, back for the apocalypse or at least a really intense rainstorm.
Apocalypse. She packing for Japan. Love it. So, climate-wise, Bosnia and Herzegovina offers a lovely, balanced for-season experience. While Japan is more like a weather adventure playground. Sometimes thrilling, sometimes terrifying. Always memorable.
Weather adventure playground. Perfectly put, Mira. So, choose your climate adventure wisely, folks. Do you want predictable excitement? Bosnia or Japan, the choice is yours. And maybe check the weather forecast before you pack. Just a thought.
Check the forecast. Groundbreaking advice, Leo. But yes, definitely check the forecast. And maybe pack a convertible helicopter for Bosnia, just in case. Shall we move on to our next topic? Speaking of deliciousness, let's dive into food. Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Round 1, food, culture, and nutritional alternatives. Ready for a taste test? Metaphorically speaking, of course. Unless you've smuggled snacks in again.
Mira, you know me too well. I always have emergency rations, mostly coffee beans though. Not sure if those count as snacks. But food culture, yes, a serious topic, almost as serious as my caffeine levels dropping below critical. Bosnia and Japan. Quite the culinary journey we're about to embark on, isn't it? From vapi to sushi, it's like comparing a cozy mountain cabin to a futuristic bullet train.
Let's start with Bosnia. I imagine cozy, hearty meals, right? Like, if food was a hug, Bosnian food would be a really warm, comforting bear hug after a long hike in the mountains. Oh, lots of meat, right? I'm picturing delicious grilled things and maybe some amazing pastries.
You're on the right track, Mira. You're on the right track, Mira. Bosnian cuisine is definitely that comforting hug you described. Think slow-cooked meats, savory pies, and dishes that stick to your ribs. It's food made for surviving a Balkan winter and possibly a minor apocalypse. Not that I'm expecting one, but you never know. Yes, meat is king. Though, maybe president is more appropriate in a Balkan context.
President meat. I love it. So, what are we talking about specifically? Is it all just like giant slabs of meat? Or is there something else? Because I'm picturing myself wrestling a whole cow on a plate right now. Which actually sounds kind of fun.
Not quite wrestling a cow, Mira, although I'm sure some Bosnians are up for that challenge. Think more like beautifully grilled vapi, those little mincemeat sausages served in soft bread with onions and sour cream. Or berek, that flaky pastry filled with meat cheese or spinach. It's hearty, flavorful, and definitely not for the faint of appetite. It's food that says, come on in, stay a while, and maybe loosen your belt a notch.
See, berek, essentially flaky pastry. Ooh. I'm already hungry. Oh, I'm already hungry. Oh, okay, so cozy and hearty for Bosnia. What about Japan? Completely the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like if Bosnian food is like a delicate origami crane made of seaweed? Am I close?
Origami crane made of seaweed. I like that, Mira. That's actually surprisingly accurate in spirit. Japanese food is renowned for its seasonal ingredients, and its emphasis on balance and umami. It's less about that comforting, more about a Zen garden for your taste buds. Think precision, elegance, and a deep respect for the ingredients.
Zen garden for taste buds. Wow, that's beautiful, Leo. So she, of course. Everyone knows sushi. But what else? Is it all raw fish and rice? Because honestly, I'm a little scared of raw fish. Oops. Don't tell the sushi chefs.
Mira, fear not the raw fish. Sushi is just the tip of the iceberg, or maybe the tip of the iceberg, or maybe the tip of the sashimi knife. Japanese cuisine is incredibly diverse. Think tempura, lightly battered and fried vegetables and seafood. Think yakitori, grilled skewers of chicken and vegetables. It's a world of flavors and textures far beyond just stick once you get over the initials, the safe.
Raymond, tempura, yakitori. Okay. My stomach is officially rumbling. So, nutritionally, how do they stack up? Bosnian food sounds maybe a little heavier. Lots of meat and pastries, it all just comfort food, or are there healthier options lurking?
Bosnian food, being hearty, can be calorie dense, let's be honest. It's not exactly diet food, but it's also packed with protein and flavor. And like any cuisine, you can find healthier options. Think grilled fish, salads with fresh vegetables, and yogurt-based dishes. It's about balance, even in Bosnia. Though portion control might be key if you're not planning on hiking those mountains afterwards.
Portion control, a concept I'm vaguely familiar with. Okay, in Japan, I'm guessing it's generally considered healthier. Lots of vegetables, fish, rice as it like, the superfood cuisine of the world. Wow.
Japanese cuisine often gets touted as one of the healthiest in the world, and for good reason. It's rich in fish, which is full of omega-3 fatty acids. It uses lots of vegetables, soy products like tofu and miso, and rice as a staple grain. Cooking methods are often lighter steaming, grilling, simmering rather than frying. It's generally lower in saturated fat and sugar compared to many Western diets. Though, even in Japan, you can find deep-fried delights and sugary treats, because, well, everyone loves deliciousness.
If I want to be super healthy and live to be 100, should I just move to Japan and eat sushi and miso soup for every meal? Is that the secret to eternal youth? Maybe I should start practicing my chopstick skills right now.
While a Japanese diet might contribute to longevity, Mira, I wouldn't recommend only eating sushi and miso soup. Variety is the spice of life on Nutrition. And while Japanese food is generally healthy, it's not a magic bullet. Plus, you'd miss out on all those delicious Baric-Essency Vapi if you only ate Japanese. Balance, remember? Maybe a Bosnian Baric one day, huh? Best of both worlds.
Baric and Draymond now, that's a food fusion I never considered. Maybe we're onto something here, Leo. Bosnian heartness meets Japanese and Balkans and cuisine. We should trademark that. But seriously, both sound amazing in their own way. It's like choosing between a cozy fireplace and the beautiful, serene garden. Both wonderful, just different vibes.
Balkans and cuisine, I can see it now, Mira. Sea Vapi infused with miso, Baric with a seaweed crust, okay, maybe not. But you're right. Both cuisines are fantastic. Bosnia for comfort and soul food, Japan for elegance and health-conscious deliciousness. It just proves no matter where you are in the world, food is a central part of culture and enjoyment. And probably my next stand-up routine.
Our current topic, we compare the historical, cultural, and artistic values of two countries. From ancient landmarks to thriving art scenes. This should be fun. Let's talk about Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan.
Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan, huh? That's like comparing a really good cup of coffee, Bosnia, and coffee, obviously, too. I don't know. A meticulously crafted bonsai tree. Both are appreciated, but wildly different.
Oh, Leo, always with the coffee. But you're right, wildly different. Bosnia and Herzegovina is this incredible crossroads of cultures, you know? Ottoman, Austro-Hungarian, so many influences swirling around. It's like history threw a party and everyone showed up.
And Japan is more like history planned a very, very exclusive, centuries-long tea ceremony with only a select few invited. Bosnia and Herzegovina feels like a bustling bazaar, full of voices and colors. Japan is more like a perfectly zen garden, meticulously raked.
Think of Sarajevo, for instance. That old bridge in Mostar, it's not just a bridge, it's like a symbol of resilience, of connecting different worlds. It's got drama, it's got pigeons probably plotting world domination from up there.
Meanwhile, in Japan, you have places like Kyoto with its golden pavilion. It's stunning, yes, but it's more about serene beauty, quiet contemplation. No pigeons plotting world domination there, probably just very polite sparrows.
Polite sparrow. I love it. And the art? Bosnian Herzegovina in music, those soulful, heart-nicking melodies. It's like music that tells stories of love and longing over centuries. You can almost taste the history in it.
And then you have Japanese traditional arts. Think of calligraphy or no fear. It's about precision, about subtlety, about conveying so much with so little. It's less about the heart on your sleeve and more about the heart hidden in a perfectly folded origami crane.
Yeah, origami cranes, so delicate, so beautiful. But you know, Bosnian artistry, it's got this raw, almost rebellious energy sometimes. Like those hand-carved wooden items you see in markets, they're beautiful. But they also feel like they've been wrestled out of the wood, you know?
Yeah, Bosnian art feels lived in, like it's got stories etched into every groove. Japanese art can feel almost ethereal, like it floats just above the everyday. Think of ukiyo-e would block prints, beautiful fleeting moments captured with incredible skill.
In the architecture, Bosnian architecture, you see mosques next to churches, Ottoman-era buildings next to Austro-Hungarian facades. It's this amazing, sometimes chaotic, but always fascinating mix.
Japanese architecture, especially traditional, is all about harmony with nature. Wooden structures blending seamlessly into the landscape, minimalist designs, it's like the buildings are whispering, we are one with the universe. Please be quiet.
Whispering buildings. Okay, I get it. Japan is all about zen and serenity, and Bosnia and Herzegovina is more about passionate chaos. Is that fair?
Passionate chaos with a side of really strong coffee. Yeah, I think that's a decent summary. Both countries have incredible historical, cultural, and artistic values, but they express them in such different ways. It's like different flavors of awesome.
Different flavors of awesome. I love that. Leo. It's like, if you want your history and culture served with a side of vibrant energy and maybe a bit of drama, Bosnia and Herzegovina is calling.
And if you prefer your history and culture to be a deeply meditative and aesthetically perfect experience, then Japan is definitely your destination. Though, both could probably use a good podcast recommendation, don't you think?
And speaking of recommendations, if you're enjoying this cultural comparison, maybe give that like button a click. And subscribe so you don't miss our next global adventure.
Yeah, seriously, if you're on YouTube right now, just a little clicky click for us. It's like a tiny digital applause. Plus, it helps us keep comparing countries and making Mira come up with funny descriptions of pigeons.
Hey, my pigeon descriptions are top-notch. Anyway, for more cultural insights and travel tips, don't forget to check out Jet Off AI. They're the ones who make this podcast possible, and they have tons of great resources for exploring the world.
Absolutely. Jet Off AI is your digital passport to global knowledge. So, whether you're dreaming of Bosnian coffee or Japanese tea ceremonies, they've got you covered. And we'll be back soon with more comparisons, more jokes, and probably more coffee talk.
Keep exploring, keep appreciating all the different flavors of awesome our world has to offer. Bye for now.
Hey there, folks. And remember, whether you prefer passionate chaos or serene gardens, there's always something amazing to discover. Just maybe pack some earplugs for the passionate chaos, and a really good camera for the serene gardens.
Nature lovers, landscape enthusiasts. Get your binoculars ready, because we are about to trek through the terrains of Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. Who's packed their hiking boots?
Hiking boots? Mira, you're thinking of sensible footwear. I've packed my flip-flops in the sense of ironic detachment. But seriously, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Talk about two places with postcard-worthy views, right?
Postcard-worthy is an understatement, Leo. Bosnia and Herzegovina is like nature decided to throw a massive green party and everyone was invited. Wow. Think dramatic mountains, crystal clear rivers, and forests that just go on forever. It's like stepping into a fairy tale, but with better coffee. Bill.
Fairy tale with better coffee. You had me at coffee, Mira. But Japan, oh Japan, it's like nature said, hold my sake, and sculpted landscapes with zen precision. We're talking volcanic mountains, cherry blossoms painting the country pink, and coastlines that look like they were designed by a landscape artist who meditates daily.
Meditating landscape artist. I love it, Leo. Bosnia and Herzegovina might not have meditating artists, but they have the Dinarici Alps. These mountains are rugged, they're breathtaking, and they're perfect for anyone who wants to feel like they're on top of the world. Plus, you can yodel there and not feel silly.
Yielding in the Dinarici Alps. I can see it now. Meanwhile, Japan counters with Mount Fuji, this iconic volcano that's so perfectly shaped, it looks like it was drawn by a child prodigy with a protractor. Wow, it's majestic. It's probably got better WA5 than my apartment.
Fuji's WI-Fi is probably powered by an energy Leo. But don't forget Bosnia and Herzegovina's rivers. The Narita, the Una, the Vrbs. These rivers are turquoise, they're fast-flowing, and they're basically nature's own water parks. You can kayak, you can even just dip your toes in and feel instantly refreshed.
Nature's water parks. Very descriptive, Mira. But Japan's got coastlines, baby. Thousands of islands, dramatic cliffs plunging into the sea, hidden beaches you can only reach by kayak. It's like every turn is a new desktop wallpaper. Oh! Plus, imagine the seafood.
Seafood and scenery, the winning combo Leo. But Bosnia and Herzegovina also has these incredible lakes. Like Pliva Lakes with their little watermills or Bilidin G, lake nestled in the mountains. They're serene, they're stunning in mountains. They're serene. And they're perfect for reflecting on life or just taking a really good selfie.
Selfies, buddies, rice, Hermian lakes. Very Instagram-able Mira. But Japan has these otherworldly forests. Think bamboo forests that whisper secrets in the wind, or ancient cedar forests in the wind, or ancient cedar forests that make you feel tiny and insignificant in the best possible way. Wow, it's like stepping onto the set of a fantasy movie, but without the CGI.
Fantasy movie without CGI. Bosnia and Herzegovina might not have bamboo forests, but their forests are still magical. Think dense woodlands, thin waterfalls, and maybe even a grumpy bear or two if you're lucky or unlucky, depending on your perspective. It's wild, it's untamed, and it makes you feel like you're discovering something new around every corner.
Grumpy bears and hidden waterfalls. Sounds like my kind of adventure, Mir. But Japan also has these incredible hot springs, onsen. Imagine soaking in naturally heated mineral water surrounded by mountains and forests. It's pure bliss. It's like nature's own spa, but you don't have to tip the volcano.
Nature's own spa and no tipping the volcano. Leo, you're on fire today. But seriously, both Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan are just overflowing with natural beauty. Whether you're into rugged mountains, serene lakes, or dramatic coastlines, you're going to find something to absolutely fall in love with. Oh.
Absolutely, Mira. It's like nature had a competition and decided to give first prize to both Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Wow! If you're looking for a dose of natural wonder, pack your bags for either of these incredible places. Just maybe leave the flips at home if you're heading to the Dinarici Alps.
Our current topic, we compare sports, activity, and adventure options into countries. Oh. Imagine Leo, from the heart-pounding adventures of Bosnia and Herzegovina to the super cool, almost futuristic sports of Japan. Wow, I'm already excited, like I'm about to do a cartwheel. But maybe I should avoid that with all these cables around.
Mira, you get excited about watching paint dry, so that's not exactly a high bar for enthusiasm. But, alright, Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan in sports and adventure. Sounds like we're comparing a spirited underdog to a tech-savvy ninja in a sports showdown. Let's see if that holds up.
Underdog versus ninja, I love it. So Bosnia and Herzegovina, when I think sports, I immediately think football, right? It's like the heart and soul, the passion of the country. Do you think they all dream of being the next NDZ Echo?
Probably just like every kid dreams of being a superhero, even if they mostly end up tripping over their own feet. Football is huge everywhere in Mira, but in Bosnia, it's definitely more than just a game. But adventure-wise, I'm picturing mountains, rivers, maybe a bear wrestling competition. Just kidding mostly.
Whoa, now that's adventure, although maybe for spectators only. Ouch. But seriously, the Bosnian mountains are stunning, right? Perfect for hiking, skiing in winter. I saw pictures of the SUTCG National Park, and it looked like straight out of a movie. Wow. Imagine making that.
Yeah, SUTG, Chiska, and other national parks are gorgeous. Lots of hiking, mountain biking, whitewater rafting, all that good outdoorsy stuff. It's like nature's playground for grown-ups who still haven't grown-ups, who still haven't winter. The skiing is decent and way more affordable than the Alps. Smart travelers Alps.
Affordable Alps. That's my kind of Alps. Ooh, we should add budget-friendly mountain adventures to our Jet-Off AI criteria. And drafting, yes. Imagine paddling down the Una River surrounded by all that green awe. It sounds so refreshing, especially after spilling coffee on yourself, Ida.
Speaking of refreshing, maybe you should try ice swimming in the Una River next time. Just an idea. But yeah, Bosnia's got the wild and rugged outdoors thing down pat. For people who like their adventures with a side of untamed nature. Now, Japan, completely different vibe, right?
Totally different. Japan, I think karate. Whoa, and judo, sumo wrestling. It's like EENPOW action-packed. Oh, I've always wanted to try karate. Imagine learning to kick like in those movies. Though I'd probably end up kicking myself. Oops.
You'd probably end up kicking me, Mira, and calling it accidental comedy. But yeah, martial arts are huge in Japan, obviously. It's part of their culture, discipline, all that good stuff. For tourists, you can even take classes and feel like you're in the Karate Kid, except maybe with less crane kicks and more awkward stances.
Awkward stances are my specialty. But seriously, learning a martial art in Japan, that's like a super cool cultural immersion experience. Wow. And then of course there's sumo wrestling. Have you ever seen a live match? It looks intense. Whoa.
Intense and large? Very large. Sumo is definitely a spectacle. It's like watching the mountains collide slowly. But it's tradition, it's ritual, it's weighty. Definitely a unique Japanese experience. Not exactly adventure sports, but adventures to watch.
Adventures to watch. I like that. And what about more outdoorsy adventures in Japan? I know they have mountains too, right? Mount Fuji. Wow. Imagine climbing Mount Fuji at sunrise. That's like bucket list material. Ooh.
Mount Fuji is iconic for sure. Climbing it at sunrise is a classic Japanese experience. Very Instagrammable. But Japan's also got amazing hiking trails all over, from the Japanese Alps to, well, less dramatically named mountains. And skiing and snowboarding in winter, especially in Hokkaido, is top-notch.
I've heard it's amazing, like powder snow heaven. Wow. Imagine skiing down the slopes and then relaxing in an onsen, a hot spring. That sounds like the perfect combo of adventure and relaxation.
Onsen after skiing? Yeah. That's the Japanese après-ski. Perfected. They take their relaxation seriously, just like they take their efficiency in vending machines. But seriously, Japan's got amazing outdoor adventures, just a different flavor from Bosnia. More refined wilderness, maybe?
Refined wilderness. I love that description, Leo. It's like Bosnian wilderness is like a wild, untamed drugstore, and Japanese wilderness is like a Zen master meditating in nature. Both amazing, just different vibes. Oh, and what about water sports in Japan? Do they have beaches?
They have beaches, Mira, surrounded by water. Oh, yes, Japan is an island nation, surprise, surprise. They've got surfing, diving, kayaking, all the usual beachy stuff. Oh, Okinawa is famous for its beaches and diving. It's like Japan's tropical paradise. Except with more vending machines on the beach.
Vending machines on the beach. Only in Japan. That's actually kind of amazing. Imagine getting a hot ramen from a vending machine after a swim. Oh, that's the future. Wow, we need to talk about Japanese vending machines in another podcast, Leo.
Mira, we should probably stick to sports and adventure for now, before we get completely sidetracked by the wonders of Japanese vending technology. But yeah, water stops in Japan, they've got it all. Surfing, dive, even whale watching, depending on where you are.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Bosnia and Herzegovina has rafting, and Japan has whale watching. That's a pretty cool contrast. Oh, it's like mountains versus oceans. Both incredible in their own way. Maybe we should just do both. Jet off AI trip, anyone?
A jet off AI-sponsored adventure trip to Bosnia and Japan. Now that's an idea. We could raft down a Bosnian river in the morning and watch whales in Japan by evening with a quick stop at a vending machine for ramen, of course. Sounds exhausting, but fun.
That's the best kind of fun. Oh, so if you're looking for rugged, untamed outdoor adventures, Bosnia and Herzegovina is calling. And if you want a mix of refined wilderness and unique cultural sports, Japan. Decisions.
Exactly, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina for the budget-conscious thrill-seeker, Japan for the culturally curious adventurer with a slightly bigger budget and a deep appreciation for vending machines. Both amazing destinations for sports and adventure, just in their own unique ways. Okay, what's next on our list, Mira? I'm getting thirsty for more comparisons and coffee.
Our current topic, we compare nightlife and entertainment venues into countries. From electric clubs to captivating theaters and festive events, we're diving into the night scene. Oh, I'm already picturing neon lights and dance floors.
Nightlife? Huh? For some it's dance till you drop. For me it's more like find a quiet corner and people watch.
First up, Bosnia and Herzegovina. When I think of Bosnian nights, I imagine cozy cafes turning into lively spots as the sun goes down. Am I right? Are we talking more chill vibes or hidden party scenes?
Chill vibes is definitely part of it. Sarajevo's BA's Cars IJ area, for example, it's not exactly Ibiza, but it has its charm. Think of it as historical cozy rather than rave till sunrise. You go for conversation, maybe some live folk music, not necessarily for laser shows.
Oh, I love it. Imagine sipping Bosnian coffee and tapping your feet to some traditional tunes. That sounds wonderfully authentic and less likely to involve glows ticks.
Exactly. It's more about experiencing the local culture than losing yourself in a mega club. You might find a kaya fauna buzzing with chatter and rakia flowing, which is its own kind of entertainment. Though, maybe pace yourself on the rakia.
Noted. Sounds potent. So, for entertainment in Bosnia now besides the cafes and KF and AS, what else is there? Are there theaters? Maybe some cool festivals that light up the night? Wow!
They have theaters, especially in Sarajevo. National Theatre Sarajevo, for instance, offers opera, ballet, drama, culturally enriching, let's say. And Sarajevo Film Festival is a big deal, even if it's more about films than wild parties, though the after-parties can get lively.
Film festivals and after parties. Okay, now we're talking. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina is more about cultural and cozy nightlife. Got it. Now, let's teleport ourselves to Japan. Tokyo nights. Whoa, my brain immediately goes to karaoke neon signs, emitting robots. Am I totally off?
Robots, maybe a robot restaurant in Shimocha, if you're into sensory overload. Karaoke, absolutely, it's practically a national sport. Neon signs? Tokyo is drowning in them? So, yeah, you're on the right track. Japan is the opposite end of the spectrum from Bosnia and Cody.
Karaoke as a national sport. I love it. Imagine belting out your favorite tune with all your friends. Ooh, that's my kind of night. Are Japanese karaoke places as crazy fun as they look in movies?
So I think that we can interpret that. They can be. Some are pretty standard rooms, others are themed selections. It's an experience, let's say. And it's not just singing, it's the lections. Let's say, and it's not just singing, it's the whole package: snacks, drinks, sometimes even light shows in the room. Japanese karaoke is serious business.
Light shows are in the karaoke room? Wow, that's next level. Okay, karaoke is a must-do in Japan. What about clubs? Are we talking massive dance clubs in Tokyo? Tell me about the electric Japanese club scene. Oh!
Tokyo has everything from underground clubs playing niche electronic music to big, flashy clubs in areas like Shibuya and Roppongi. Shibuya is known for its trendy spots. Roppongi is a bit more international, let's say. Expect packed dance floors, DJs spinning everything imaginable. And yeah, maybe some laser shows too. If you're into dancing till dawn, Tokyo's got you covered.
Dancing till dawn in Tokyo sounds incredible. Imagine the energy. And besides clubs and karaoke, what other entertainment venues light up the Japanese nights? Are there traditional theaters? Maybe quirky themed bars?
Kabuki and no theaters for traditional performances if you're culturally inclined. Though maybe not exactly nightlife in the clubbing sense. And themed bars? Japan invented themed bars. Robot restaurant? As we mentioned, there's owl cafes? Even ninja-themed bars. You name it, they probably have it. Japanese creativity is something else.
Ninja-themed bars. Cat cafes that are open at night. Japan is officially blowing my mind. Aha! It sounds like you can find literally anything you could possibly imagine for nighttime entertainment there. Is that fair to say?
Pretty fair. From quiet, atmospheric izakayas for late night, eats and drinks to arcades that stay open late, to themed events and festivals happening year-round, Japan's nightlife is incredibly diverse and caters to pretty much every taste. Bosnia and Herzegovina is more about a relaxed, cultural evening. Japan as well. Choose your own adventure, and probably find something even weirder than you imagined.
Choose your own adventure in Japanese nightlife. I love it. So, if someone wants a chilled, cultural evening, Bosnia and Herzegovina is the place to be. If they want wild, wacky, and wonderfully weird nights, Japan is calling.
That's a pretty good and concise summary. Bosnia and Herzegovina for soulful evenings, Japan for sensory overload and karaoke battles. Both offer unique experiences, just very different kinds of unique.
Bosnia for the soul, Japan for the senses. Oh, I think I know where I want to go based on my mood now. Thanks for the nighttime tour, Leo. Let's move on to our next topic. Our current topic. We compare family-friendly environments and children's activities in two countries. From what I've heard, Bosnia and Herzegovina is like stepping into a fairy tale, right? Ooh, I imagine kids running around ancient castles and exploring mysterious forests.
Fairy tale might be a bit strong, Mira, unless the fairy tale involves slightly crumbling castles and forest-genable paths. But yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina does have a certain old-world charm that can be pretty enchanting for kids, in a let's pretend we're adventurers kind of way.
And think about Sarajevo, that old town area. I bet it's amazing for wandering around with little ones. Cobblestone streets, maybe some street performers. Imagine the photos.
Cobblestone streets are great for photos, less so for strollers. Just saying. But you're right, Sarajevo's BA Escar's IJ, that old bazaar area, can be a fun sensory overload for kids. Lots of sights, sounds, and definitely opportunities for parents to haggle for tiny, probably breakable souvenirs.
Haggling is part of the fun. It's like a game. And then you can treat them to some delicious barrack afterwards. I've heard Bosnian food is super kid-friendly.
Barrack is definitely a win. who can say no to flaky pastry filled with cheese or meat. Though, maybe pack some mud wipes. It can get a little enthusiastic. And for picky eaters, see Vappy, those little grilled sausages, are usually a safe bet. Less adventurous than our octopus soup, for sure.
Wait, are we talking about Japan now? Because suddenly I'm picturing sushi making classes for kids. How cool is that? Wow.
Hold your horses, Mir. We're getting there. But back to Bosnia for a sec. It's not all ancient ruins and questionable paths. They actually have some decent parks and green spaces, especially in Sarajevo. The Rilo Bosna spring of the Bosna River is supposed to be quite lovely for a family day out. Nature, ducks, the whole shebang.
Ducks. Kids love ducks. And picnics. Imagine a picnic by a beautiful Bosnian river with barrack, of course. Okay. Bosnia is sounding more amazing. But Japan is like super organized and efficient, right? That must make it incredibly family-friendly.
Organized and efficient, yes. Think of Khan as the opposite of questionable paths. Their public transport is legendary, which is a huge plus when you're lugging around kids and all their gear. No getting lost in translation, Lulu.
Yes, and the trains are so clean and on time. That's already a stress reliever for parents. Wow. Plus, I've seen pictures of Japanese playgrounds, and they look incredible. Like, not just swings and slides, but whole adventure zones.
Adventure zones designed with safety in mind, naturally. Japan is big on safety. You could probably eat off the floor of a Japanese playground, though I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, they put a lot of thought into kid-friendly spaces, parks, museums, even train stations often have play areas.
Oh, I bet Japanese museums are so interactive and fun for kids. Not just boring glass cases. Not just boring glass cases, but like robots and cool technology stuff.
Interactive museums are definitely their forte. Science museums or railway museums, even some art museums have kid-focused exhibits. They really get how to make learning fun, which is commendable, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing.
I am totally into that sort of thing. Learning and fun combined. That's genius. Oh, what about theme parks? I bet Japan has amazing theme parks.
Theme parks? Mira, Japan is theme park central. Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, Universal Studios Japan, you name it, they've got it. And it's probably meticulously themed and flawlessly executed. Prepare for crowds, though.
Crowds are okay if it's worth it. And Disney Sea. That sounds amazing. Like Disney but with water. Whoa, kids would go crazy for that.
Disney Sea is pretty unique. Yeah, more geared towards slightly older kids, maybe. But they have stuff for all ages. And beyond the big names, there are tons of smaller, quirky theme parks all over Japan. Robot restaurants, Hello Kitty Land, it's a whole other level of commitment to themed entertainment.
Hello restaurants. Hello Kitty Lands? Okay, Japan wins on sheer creativity and commitment to fun. But Bosnia has that natural outdoorsy, adventurous vibe. It's a tough call.
It really depends what you're after. Bosnia offers a more rustic, maybe more budget-friendly family experience. Japan is slick, polished, possibly pricier, but incredibly convenient and jam-packed with kid-centric activities. Apples and meticulously crafted, robot waiter oranges, really.
Robot waiter oranges. Okay, I'm sold on Japan for the robot waiters alone. But I still want to see those Bosnian castles. Maybe we need to plan 2 family vacations. 1 to each place.
2 family vacations sounds like a lot of packing and unpacking, Mira. But hey, if you're volunteering to organize, be my guest. Just remember to factor in the stroller-friendly cobblestone coefficient for Bosnia. And maybe a robot butler for Japan to carry all the souvenirs.
Robot butler. Perfect. See? Japan and Bosnia, both family-friendly, just in totally different, hilarious ways. Aha! And both definitely worth checking out, right?
Absolutely. For family fun, adventure, or just witnessing the sheer absurdity of a robot waiter serving you orange juice, both Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan have something to offer. Just maybe pack for different kinds of adventures. And definitely wear wipes for the barrack.
Okay, Leo. Speaking of countries and cultures, let's chat about something super important: how LGBT friendly are Bosnia and Herzegovina compared to Japan. You know, for our listeners planning their dream lives. Or just a fun vacation.
Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan, huh? Well, Mira, that's quite the spectrum, isn't it? It's like comparing a Eurovision semi-final to a very polite and quiet.
Yeah, you always have the best analogies. But seriously, when we talk about LGBT friendliness, what's the vibe in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Is it rainbows and acceptance parades everywhere?
Mira, maybe not exactly rainbows and parades everywhere in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Think more like subtle nods and quiet understanding in some corners. And maybe a raised eyebrow or two in others. It's not exactly Madrid pride, let's put it that way.
Okay, subtle nods and raised eyebrows. Got it. So, legal protections? Are we talking love is love legally speaking in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Or is it more love is complicated? Let's not write laws about it.
Legally speaking in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's let's just say the legal framework is about as developed as dial-up internet. There's no same-sex marriage, no civil partnerships, and definitely no laws protecting LGBT folks from discrimination. Oops.
That's a legal desert. That sounds arid. Social acceptance then? Are people generally open-minded and welcoming even if the laws are lagging? Maybe the Bosnian heart is warmer than the Bosnian law books?
Well, Mira, Bosnian hearts are known for being warm, especially with rakia flowing. But social acceptance for LGBT people, it's nuanced. In bigger cities like Sarajevo, you might find more tolerance, especially in younger crowds. But in more rural areas or older generations, let's just say you might get more of those raised eyebrows I mentioned earlier. It's a mixed bag, like a box of chocolates where some are delicious, and some you leave at the bottom.
So, bottom of the box chocolates for some parts of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Got it. What about Japan then? Is it all neon lights and futuristic acceptance? Wow.
Japan, Mira, is uniquely Japanese. It's not a legal desert like Bosnia, but it's not exactly a rainbow oasis either. There's no nationwide legal recognition of same-sex marriage, but some cities and prefectures are starting to offer partnership certificates. It's like Japan is slowly dipping its toe into the LGBT pool. Very cautiously.
Cautiously dipping a toe. That sounds very Japanese, actually. So, if it's not legal rainbows, what's the social vibe like in Japan? Are people staring or celebrating if you're openly LGBT? Wow.
Socially, Japan is polite. Very polite. Direct discrimination is rare, more out of politeness than acceptance if you catch my drift. Public displays of affection, regardless of orientation, are generally frowned upon. It's more about not causing a fuss than genuine celebration. Think of it as blending in as the best policy, like a ninja in the night, but less cool outfits and more, just not drawing attention.
Ninjas of not drawing attention. So, both countries are not exactly throwing huge pride parties. For different reasons, it sounds like. Is there any kind of LGBT scene in either place? You know, for people who want to connect with their community? Oh.
Well, Mira, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Sarajevo has a small but brave LGBT scene. They actually have a pride parade, which is a pretty big deal considering the social climate. It's not huge, but it's there, and it's growing like a little flower pushing through concrete.
A flower pushing through concrete. That's beautiful, Leo. And Japan? Any secret LGBT ninja gatherings?
Japan definitely has a more established LGBT scene, especially in big cities like Tokyo and Osaka. Shinwochinik home in Tokyo is world famous for its gay bars. It's definitely there, but it's often more underground or discreet. Thing with that home not causing a fuss vibe. Think hidden speak is IES, but rainbow colored.
I love it. So, if someone is deciding between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Kyrgyzstan LGBT friendliness, what's your comedic but insightful summary?
Mira, if you're looking for legal protections and open celebration, neither is exactly throwing you a party. Bosnia and Herzegovina is still in the early stages, with brave activists pushing for change against the tide. Japan's further along socially with a scene, but legal recognition is lagging behind. It's like Bosnia is a bud waiting to bloom, and Japan is a carefully cultivated bonsai. Choose your metaphor and your destination.
Thanks, Leo. Absolutely perfect. So, for LGBT folks, maybe pack your bags with realistic expectations and the sense of adventure for both. And maybe some rakia for Bosnia. And sake for Japan, just to be culturally sensitive.
Exactly, Mira. Rakia and sake the universal languages of, well, maybe not legal rights, but definitely cultural exchange. On that note, shall we move on to the cultural exchange?
Our current topic, we compare hospitality and attitudes towards foreigners into countries, uncovering welcoming cultures and reactions you might encounter. Ugh. You know, it's like stepping into someone's living room, but the living room is an entire country.
Indeed, Mira. It's like asking, are they going to offer you tea and slippers? Or just politely nod and point you to the nearest vending machine? Today we're talking about Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Let's see who rolls out the welcome mat more enthusiastically.
Oh, Bosnia and Herzegovina first. From what I hear, Bosnians are like stranger. Come in, eat, drink, be merry, and tell us your life story. Wow. It's that famous Balkan hospitality, right? Like you show up as a tourist and leave with a dozen new best friends and maybe slightly too much homemade rakia.
Rocky, yee! Sounds like my kind of welcome. In Japan, I think it's less about the rakia and more about incredibly polite bowing and trying to under overly enthusiastic attempts at Japanese phrases. It's hospitality, but with a side of cultural elegance and maybe a little bit of... Are you sure you know how to use chopsticks? Silently imply.
Chopsticks are a challenge, true. But in Bosnia, I imagine if you struggle with Berek, they'll just laugh good-naturedly and show you the proper technique. It's like, don't worry, we've all been there. Now have another slice. Ooh, very hands-on, very warm.
In Japan, if you fumble with chopsticks, they might just bring you a spoon with a serene smile, thinking perhaps this is more user-friendly for our honored guest. It's less laugh about it together and more let us gently guide you to the easier path.
Gentle guidance. I like that. But sometimes you want that big, boisterous welcome, you know? Like in Bosnia, maybe you accidentally wander into someone's garden and they're like, "You're here now, time for coffee and gossip."
If you wander into a Japanese garden uninvited, you might be met with a very polite, but firm, "Excuse me, this area is for contemplation, not random wandering." Though they probably still offer you tea just to be polite, while subtly escorting you to the exit.
Bosnia is more like a warm hug in Japan, is more like a graceful bow. Well, they're lovely, but in different ways. Imagine trying to ask for directions in Bosnia. You might end up with a guided tour by a local who insists on showing you everything. Wow.
Asking for directions in Japan could turn into a charming mime performance involving maps, gestures, and maybe a helpful person walking you halfway there, even if they were going in the opposite direction. It served us with a capital lesson to sight of adorable confusion if you don't speak Japanese.
That's a great way to put it. Oh, that's a great way to put it. Bosnian hospitality sounds like it breaks down barriers instantly, doesn't it? Like language. Who needs it when we have food and hand gestures?
Exactly. Bosnian hospitality is the universal language of food and drink, while Japanese hospitality is the universal language of very precise and polite gestures, and hoping your translation app works. It's a different kind of connection, but a connection nonetheless.
If you are after spontaneous, loud, and maybe slightly chaotic warmth, Bosnia sounds like the place to be. If you prefer refined, elegant, and meticulously helpful, Japan is calling your name. It's like choosing between a cozy family dinner and a super classy tea ceremony.
Precisely, Mira. Bosnia is your boisterous family reunion where everyone's hugging and shouting over each other with love. Japan is that elegant, quiet gathering where everyone is thoughtfully offering you the best cushion and the most precisely brewed green tea. Both wonderful, just different levels of decibels.
I love it. So, for hospitality points, it's not really about better or worse, but more about what kind of welcome are you in the mood for? Right? Wow.
Absolutely. It's like asking, do you want a bear hug or a gentle handshake? Both are forms of greeting, just with vastly different levels of impact. And maybe potential back pain, depending on the bear hugs.
That pain from a Bosnian hug sounds like a badge of honor. Oh, this. Just a souvenir from the warmest welcome ever. Maybe we should try to quantify hospitality by decibels and hug intensity.
Now there's a YouTube series idea. Decibel levels of welcomes around the world. We could travel the globe with a decibel meter and a Hugo meter. Ha ha! Sponsored by Jet Off AI for all your travel tech needs.
Jet Off AI presents hugs and hairs. Coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see us get bear hugged in Bosnia and politely bowed to in Japan.
And leave a comment. Tell us, do you prefer a Bosnian bear hug or a Japanese bow? Let's settle this debate in the comments section. Ooh, this is getting exciting. Maybe we should actually try this experiment for real.
Leah, are you volunteering for the Hugo Nita testing in Bosnia? I think we have our next video idea sorted. Wow! Thanks, listeners, for joining us on this journey of hospitality comparisons. And a huge shout out to Jet Off AI for fueling our podcast adventures. Until next time.
Indeed. Thank you, Jet Off AI. And to all our listeners, stay hospitable wherever you are, and whatever your decibel level of welcome may be. See you next time.
Okay, Leo. Let's talk tech. Ready to dive into the digital world of Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. I'm picturing lightning-fast internet in Japan and, well, what's the vibe in Bosnia?
Mira, you're picturing correctly. Japan is like the bullet train of internet speeds, and Bosnia might be more like a charming scenic railway. Let's see if the digital facilities are as different as a high-speed train and a horse-drawn carriage.
A horse-drawn carriage. Oh, Leah, you're killing me. Seriously, is it that dramatic? I mean, in Japan, I bet you can download a whole movie before you finish saying konnichiwa. Wow. What about Bosnia? Do you need to start downloading a movie last week to watch it today?
Not quite last week, Mira, but you might need to make a cup of Bosnian coffee and then start to go living in the year 3000 when it comes to fiber optic cables and digital everything. They probably have robots delivering Wi-Fi signals directly to your brain. Whoa. Bosnia and Herzegovina is catching up, but they're still on the getting their train.
Robots delivering Wi-Fi. I love it, Leo. Imagine a little robot butler just rolling up and saying, "Here's your internet, madam." Oh, but okay, jokes aside, what does this mean for everyday life? Like, if you're trying to video call your grandma, is it going to be smooth sailing in both places? Or will grandma in Bosnia be a pixelated mystery?
Pixelated mystery grandma. Okay. Mira, for video calls in Japan, grandma will be crystal clear, probably looking younger than ever thanks to the amazing bandwidth. In Bosnia, you might get a few stutters. Maybe a little bit of that retro blocky effect, but you'll still see grandma, just maybe in her 8-bit glory. It's charmingly vintage in a way.
8-bit grandma. You're making me want to start a podcast comparing grandmas and different internet speeds. Oh, but back to reality, what about digital facilities beyond just speed? Like, are they both equally obsessed with smartphones and gadgets? Or is there a cultural difference there too?
Oh, gadget obsession is universal. Mira, everyone loves a shiny new phone, whether you're in Tokyo or Sarajevo. Wow, Japan is definitely a trendsetter, always pushing the boundaries of tech innovation. They probably invented email, JEIS, just to have more ways to communicate their gadget love. Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe with a bit more of a practical approach. Less latest gadget craze. What does this get the job done?
Practical gadget love. I like that. So, Japan is like, look at my holographic phone that folds into a spaceship. And Bosnia is like, does it make calls in Savannah drop? Good enough. Good enough. Enough. Public W around Sarajevo, Tokyo. Can I just hop onto a free network and post my amazing travel selfies?
Selfie posting emergency. In Japan, you might be surprised, Mira. Free public Wi-Fi isn't everywhere like you might expect, especially compared to some other super digital countries. They're super connected at home and work, but public hotspots are a bit less common. Bosnia and Herzegovina, you'll find more free Wi-Fi in cafes and restaurants, especially in tourist areas. So, Sarajevo might actually win the impromptu selfie upload contest.
Sarajevo selfie victory. Wow, I did not see that coming. So, maybe Bosnia is the dark horse in this digital race? It might not be as flashy as Japan, but it's got its own strengths. Like maybe they're really good at, I don't know. Online chess. Is online chess big in Bosnia?
Online chess in Bosnia. Mira, you're onto something. Maybe they're secretly chess grandmasters dominating the digital chessboard. But in reality, Bosnia and Herzegovina is working hard to improve its internet infrastructure. They're investing in broadband and trying to close that digital gap. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and they're definitely putting in the effort.
A digital marathon? Oh, that's a good way to put it, Leo. So, Japan is already at the finish line, sipping champagne, and Bosnia is still running strong, maybe sweating a bit, but determined to get there. And for listeners planning a trip, should they pack a portable Wi-Fi router for Bosnia? Or are they generally good to go with their phones?
For Japan, pocket Wi-Fi is still a good idea, especially if you want constant connectivity outside of hotels and cafes. For Bosnia and Herzegovina, you might be pleasantly surprised by the Wi-Fi availability, especially in cities. But hey, a portable Wi-Fi router is never a bad travel buddy, just in case you need to stream cat videos in the middle of nowhere.
Cat videos in the wilderness. Okay. Leo, I think we've painted a pretty good digital picture of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Chicken lightning speed. Tech wonderland. But maybe a bit less public Wi-Fi than you'd expect. Bosnia charmingly vintage internet, catching up fast, and surprisingly good public Wi-Fi for your selfie needs. Did I get that right?
Mira, you nailed it. From bullet trains to scenic railways, from holographic phones to practical gadgets, and from pixelated grandmas to selfie victories, we've digitally explored Bosnia and Herzegovina in Japan. Oh, wow. And who knows, maybe in a few years, Bosnia will be giving Japan a run for its money in a digital speed race. Until then, happy browsing, wherever you are.
Happy browsing indeed. And if you're in Bosnia and Herzegovina and your internet is a bit slow, just remember, you can always enjoy a delicious Bosnian coffee while you wait. Thanks for the digital tour, Leo. And listeners, if you liked this episode, give us a like on YouTube and subscribe for more country comparisons. Our current topic, let's compare shopping opportunities and price-performance balance in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan, diving into what treasures and deals await us.
Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan in a shopping showdown? Sounds like a tag team wrestling match between a cozy bazaar and a high-tech department store.
Let's start with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Imagine wandering through BAS Cars IJ in Sarajevo. It's like stepping into a history book, but with more copper and less homework.
BAS Cars IJES. That place is sensory overload in the best way. All those little shops crammed together, the smell of beer wafting through the air. It's like a flea market on steroids, but way cool.
And the prices. You can actually afford to buy things without needing to sell a kidney. Handmade crafts, beautiful coffee sets, leather goods, It's like getting a souvenir that doesn't scream tourist trap. Wow.
Right? Price-performance balance in Bosnia and Herzegovina is like hitting the jackpot at a charity raffle. You'll get unique stuff, often handmade, and your wallet doesn't cry afterwards. Unlike some souvenirs I've seen that cost more than a plane ticket. Oops.
Tell me about it. Remember that time we saw a snow globe for 50 euros? A snow globe, Leo? A snow globe, Leo! For everyday shopping, you've got your K&Z and Bingo supermarkets. Pretty standard, good prices. Ah!
Standard supermarkets, yes, but even grocery shopping that felt a bit more charming? Maybe it's the Rakia section that just radiates charm. But seriously, daily necessities are affordable, no drama.
No drama at all. And if you're looking for something a bit more modern, Sarajevo city center is there. It's not Ginza in Tokyo. But hey, it's got shops and air conditioning, which is a win in summer. Oh!
Sarajevo city center, the Bosnian answer to retail therapy. It's got the familiar brands, the food court a safe haven for those who need a break from charming bazaars. Though personally, I take BS cars IJ any day.
Me too! Now, let's teleport ourselves to Japan. From BS Cars IJA to Shibuya Crossing. Talk about culture shock for your credit card. Well,
Shibuya crossing from copper pots to neon lights. Japan is like stepping into the future, but the future has a hefty price tag attached. Shopping in Japan is an experience, alright.
an experience that can leave your bank account weeping. But, oh my goodness, the variety. From department stores that are like mini cities, to quirky little shops selling the most bizarre and wonderful things. Wow.
Variety is Japan's middle name. You can find anything and everything from the latest gadgets that haven't even invented yet, to ancient kimonos that are probably older than my jokes.
Japanese products are known for being top-notch. You pay more, but you often get something that will last longer than, say, my attention span.
Quality is definitely a Japanese strength. Made in Japan used to be a label of prestige, and it still holds up. You're paying for precision, innovation, and probably a team of robots assembling it.
For electronics and gadgets, Akihabara in Tokyo is like Disneyland for tech nerds. It's bright, it's loud, it's overwhelming, and you'll probably walk out with something you didn't know you needed, but now can't live without.
Akihabara, where your wallet goes to die a happy, tech-filled death. It's a wonderland of electronics, and anime and pachinko parlors that are somehow related, I guess.
And for fashion, Haruka is where all the cool kids hang out. It's street style heaven, from Lolita fashion to punk rock to, well, everything in between. It's like a fashion show exploded, and you can buy the shrapnel.
Or Yuka fashion, where individuality is the uniform. It's a wild mix of styles, colors, and creativity. You might see someone dressed as a giant cat next to someone in a traditional kimono. Anything goes! Ooh!
But let's talk price performance in Japan. It's challenging. You can find amazing things, but you often pay a premium. Is it always worth it?
Price performance in Japan is a philosophical question. You're paying for the experience, the quality, the Japan-ness of it all? Is a melon that costs $200 worth it? Economically, no. But culturally, maybe.
Maybe for a very special occasion melon. For everyday shopping in Japan, supermarkets can be pricey compared to Bosnia. Even a simple grocery run can feel like a mini investment. Ouch.
Everyday groceries in Japan, you learn to appreciate discounts, supermarkets, and 100 yen shops. Those are your survival kits. Otherwise, your grocery bill is a small mortgage payment.
If you're on a tight budget, Bosnia and Herzegovina is definitely your shopping paradise. You get unique, quality items without breaking the bank.
Bosnia and Herzegovina shopping on a budget with a side of Balkan charm. Perfect for finding unique gifts and feeling like you're getting a steal.
But if you're looking for cutting-edge tech, unique fashion, and are willing to splurge for the experience, Japan is the place to go. Just maybe take out a small loan first. Oops.
Japan shopping is performance art where your credit card weeps stares of joy and despair simultaneously. Go for the experience, just be prepared to pay for it.
It really boils down to what you're looking for and what your budget is. Right. Both countries offer fantastic shopping, just in completely different ways.
Bosnia and Herzegovina is the hidden gem shopping experience, the sensory overload, must-see shopping experience. Both are great, just depends on your shopping experience. Both are great, just depends on your shopping personality.
And remember, if you like this podcast, give us a like on YouTube. And for more comparisons and travel tips, check out Jedolfai. We've got loads more to explore.
Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe for more country comparisons and travel insights. And Jedolfai is your go-to for all things travel planning. Until next time, happy shopping and maybe budget carefully if you're heading to Japan.
Our current topic, we compare cultural events, festivals, and concert opportunities into countries, spotlighting Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Ooh, I'm already picturing vibrant festivals.
Cultural events, huh? In Bosnia and Herzegovina. I bet it's like stepping into a time machine, maybe with extra strong coffee and some serious history lessons in the form of folk songs.
Imagine those folk festivals in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I bet the music is so soulful it could make even a stone statue tap its foot. And the dancing? I'm ready to learn some new moves right now. Wow.
And in Japan, you've got festivals that are probably so precise they start on the nanosecond. Think perfectly synchronized dances maybe with robots. And definitely no one stepping out of line. Oops. If you're even a millisecond late, do they politely ask you to leave?
Oh, but think about the Sarajevo festival. It's a huge deal, right? Hollywood comes to Bosnia. Imagine bumping into a movie star while you're grabbing some barrack. Whoa, that's way more exciting than just another red carpet.
Sarajevo Film Festival sounds cool, but Japan has anime conventions. Thousands of people dressed as cartoon characters. It's like Halloween, but way more committed and possibly weirder. I wonder if they judge your costume's accuracy down to the pixel?
Pixel-perfect costumes. But speaking of music, Bosnia and Herzegovina has a rich SCV'd all-in-K tradition. Those melancholic love songs, they tug at your heartstring like a puppy wanting a treat. I need to listen to some right now.
SCV'd all-in-K sounds intense, but Japan has karaoke. You can butcher your favorite song in front of strangers and everyone politely claps. It's like a national sport, but with more off-key notes. Maybe they even have SCV'd all-in-K karaoke. Now that's a cultural fusion I'd pay to see.
SCV'd all-in-K karaoke. Ooh, Leah, you're a genius. We should pitch that. But seriously, think about the BAS Cars IJA nights in Sarajevo. Open-air concerts, theater. It's all happening in the heart of the old town. Sounds magical. Wow.
BAS Cars IJA night sounds nice, but Japan has, well, literally any night in Tokyo. It's like a 24/7 festival of lights, sounds, and maybe a little bit of sensory overload. You can find concerts in tiny bars, massive stadiums, even in robot restaurants. Diversity is their middle name, probably.
Robot restaurants with concerts. Okay, Japan wins for sheer futuristic weirdness. But Bosnia and Herzegovina also has the MESS International Theater Festival. Cutting-edge performances, challenging ideas, it's not all just folk songs and coffee.
MESS Theater Festival sounds deep, but Japan has no theater. Centuries old, super stylized, and probably requires a PhD to fully understand. It's like performance art, but with masks and way more tradition. I wonder if they have a no theater for robots full circle.
Robots, doing no theater. Leo, you're on a roll. But back to Bosnia and Herzegovina. They have the Zenica City Festival. It's all about celebrating the city's culture with music, art, theater, everything. Community vibes are strong there. At that whole.
Community vibes are nice, but Japan is Komiket. Twice a year, hundreds of thousands of people descend on Tokyo Big Sight to buy and sell fan-made comics. It's a cultural event so massive, it practically shifts the tectonic plates. Whoa. Good luck finding community vibes in that crowd, though.
Come like it sounds intense. But you know, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, even smaller towns probably have their own local festivals, celebrating harvest or celebrating harvests, or saints' days, or whatever. It's that village charm, you know.
Village charm is sweet, but charm is golden weak. A whole week of national holidays. The entire country basically becomes a festival of, well, everyone trying to travel at once. Chaos that festive chaos, I guess? Oops. Maybe they have village charm chaos too?
Maybe we should create a festival of podcasting chaos right here in our studio. But seriously, both Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan seem to have amazing cultural scenes, just in totally different ways. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments which festival vibe are you more into?
Yeah, seriously, YouTube listeners, tell us. Are you team Bosnian folk charm or team Japanese futuristic frenzy? And while you're at it, maybe like and subscribe, Z. And while you're and afford to actually visit these festivals ourselves someday. Thanks to Jedofea, of course. Maybe they even have festivals dedicated to travel planning. Thanks to Jedofea. Full circle again.
Our current topic, we compare the opportunities of learning the local language into countries. From what I hear, Bosnian is like linguistic roller coaster, while Japanese might be like climbing Mount Fuji with chopsticks.
A linguistic roller coaster. I love it, Mira. You always have a way with words, even if those words are about language learning, which, let's be honest, can be as exciting as watching paint dry for some people. But fear not, dear listeners, we'll try to make it funnier than paint dry.
Yeah. So, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Beautiful country, stunning nature, and a language that sounds like a beautiful song if that song was sung backwards and uphill. But seriously, Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian, it's all kind of in the same family, right? Like siblings who share clothes but argue about who looks better in them.
Siblings who share clothes but argue. That's gold, Mira. You should use that in your stand-up. And you're right, it's all Serbo-Croatian, Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian, Montenegrin. It's like ordering the same pizza but arguing about whether it's called pepperoni or salami. Makes you hungry just thinking about it.
Definitely makes you hungry for some linguistic pizza. Oh, but for someone trying to learn Bosnian, are there many resources out there? Like, can you just stroll into your local bookstore and find a Bosnian for Dummies book? Or is it more like searching for a rare Pokemon card?
Rare Pokemon card. Probably closer to that, Mira. Bosnian, while spoken by millions, isn't exactly top of the language learning charts. You might find some online courses, maybe a textbook or two if you're lucky. Think smaller language schools, niche websites. It's not like Spanish or finds themselves at you.
Bit of a treasure hunt then for learning materials. But what about opportunities to practice? Are Bosnians generally happy to help a struggling learner, or will they just switch to English and save themselves the pain of listening to my terrible pronunciation?
Your terrible pronunciation. I doubt it's that bad, Mira. The Bosnians, from what I hear, are generally quite welcoming and patient. They're proud of their language and culture, so someone trying to learn Bosnian, they might be pleasantly surprised and encourage you. Plus, you know, Southern European hospitality usually comes with a smile and maybe even a coffee. That!
Coffee and language practice. Sounds like a deal. Okay, Japanese, that's a whole different ball game, isn't it? Like going from a bicycle to a spaceship. Wow, suddenly we're talking about hiragana, katakana, kanji, it sounds like a secret code.
Hey, secret code! Exactly, Mira. Japanese is definitely on a different level of linguistic complexity. Those writing systems alone can make your brain do somersaults. Imagine trying to learn 3 alphabets at once. It's like learning to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle.
Flaming torches and unicycles. Sounds like my kind of circus. But seriously, with all those characters, is it even possible for a normal human to learn Japanese? Or do you need to be a linguistic genius with a PhD in deciphering ancient scrolls?
You don't need a PhD, Mira, but it definitely requires dedication and patience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But the good news is there are tons of resources out there. Textbooks, apps, online courses, language schools. Japan knows it's popular, and they've got the language learning industry to prove it. It's like a language learning supermarket, everything you could possibly need, and probably a lot you don't.
Language supermarket. I love that. Ooh. So, resources go for Japanese. But what about the difficulty itself? Is Japanese as hard as everyone says? Or is it just a myth to steer away the faint of heart?
It's definitely challenging, Mira. Grammar is... Grammar is very different from English. Pronunciation can be tricky, and then there are those thousands of kanji characters to memorize. Ouch. It's not a walk in the park, that's for sure, but millions of people have learned it, so it's absolutely doable. It just takes time, effort, and maybe a few tears of frustration along the way.
Tears of frustration, you say? Oof. Well, maybe I'll stick to Bosnian then. Just kidding. Seriously, if someone is choosing based on ease of learning, it sounds like Bosnian might be a slightly gentler introduction to the world of languages. At least, you know, alphabet-wise.
Alphabet-wise, definitely, Mira. Bosnian uses the Latin alphabet, or Cyrillic if you're feeling adventurous, but still, it's alphabets we're familiar with. Japanese writing systems are a whole new universe. But you're super motivated to learn Japanese because you love anime or manga. That passion can make even kanji feel less daunting.
True. Passion is the best language teacher, isn't it? So, for opportunities, Japan wins hands down with resources. For ease, maybe Bosnian takes the slightly less intimidating prize, at least initially. But both offer a chance to dive into fascinating cultures and, you know, impress people at parties by speaking a language they've never heard of.
Exactly, Mira. Imagine strolling into a party and casually dropping a Bosnian phrase or two. Instant coolness. Wow. Or, you know, busting out some fluent Japanese and making everyone's jaws drop. Both have their appeal. And if you want to find out more about these amazing countries, don't forget to check out Jetofe. They've got tons of info to fuel your travel and language learning dreams.
Jetofe is your go-to place for all things travel and culture. If you enjoyed this linguistic showdown, give us a like on YouTube and subscribe for more. Oh, who knows? Maybe next time we'll compare Klingon and Elvish.
Klingon Elvish. Now that's a podcast I'd listen to. But... so for my son. But so from us on Bosnian and Japanese language adventures. Ooh.
So our next stop on this world tour of comparisons is all about something super important. Especially for our awesome female listeners on Friendly. For everyone who cares about women's safety while traveling. We're tackling Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Japan. Ready to dive in.
Women's safety. Oh, Mira, you know me. Always thrilled to discuss topics where I can offer my profound insights as a... well, as a guy who watches a lot of movies. But seriously, it's crucial. Let's see if these two countries are princess or perilous for our female adventurers.
Princesses or perilous, Lear? You're already setting the stage. Okay, let's kick off with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, from what I've gathered, it's generally considered safe, especially in touristy areas. But like anywhere, you gotta keep your wits about you, right?
Keep your wits about you. That should be the motto for Planet Earth, Mirror. But yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I picture stunning landscapes, historical sites, and maybe a bit of that Eastern European charm. Safety-wise, I guess petty theft might be more of a concern than, say, violent crime. Especially in crowded places.
Pickpockets are like those pesky pigeons in city squares always around if you're not careful. But in terms of serious harassment or violence against women, thankfully, it's not something that's widely reported as a major issue for tourists in Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's a relief, at least.
Relief indeed. Though not widely reported can sometimes be a bit of a double-edged sword, can't it? Sometimes things just aren't reported as much, for various reasons. But taking it at face value, sounds like General Street Smart should suffice in Bosnia. What about cultural attitudes, though? Is it generally a comfortable place for women to navigate culturally?
Culturally, that's a good point. Bosnia and Herzegovina has a mix of influences, right? Ottoman, Austro-Hungarian, and so on. I imagine in more rural areas, or perhaps in more religiously conservative communities, expectations around dress and behavior might be a bit more traditional.
Traditional, yes, which can sometimes translate to keep your shoulders covered and maybe don't wander alone at night type of traditional. Not necessarily unsafe, but maybe less stroll around in your shortest shorts at 3 a.m. friendly. Am I in the ballpark?
Shortest shorts at 3 a.m. probably not advisable anywhere unless you're aiming for a very specific kind of attention, Leon. But yeah, in Bosnia, erring on the side of modest dress, especially when visiting religious sites or venturing outside of major cities, is probably a good idea, just out of respect and to avoid unwanted stares, you know.
Unwanted stares, the universal travel accessory. They come free with every trip. Okay, so Bosnia generally safe. Be aware of petty theft. Maybe dial down the fashion choices a notch in certain areas. Got it. Now Japan? Total opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Japan. Land of politeness, efficiency, and vending machines that sell everything. Wow. Safety for women travelers in Japan is often touted as being incredibly high. I've heard stories of people leaving their phones on tables in cafes and no one even batting an eyelid.
Leaving your phone on a table in a cafe in some cities, that's like putting out a little free phone buffet sign. But yes, Japan has this almost mythical reputation for being super safe, especially for women. Lower crime rates in general, right?
Significantly lower. Violent crime is rare, and even petty theft is less common than in many Western countries. Walking alone at night in most Japanese cities is generally considered very safe, even for women. That must be such a liberating feeling, right?
Liberating indeed. Imagine just existing in public without that low-level hum of should I be looking over my shoulder, constantly playing in your head. Sounds almost utopian. But is it perfectly safe? Nowhere is, right?
Well, even in a super safe place like Japan, you still need to be aware, of course. Things like crowded trains during rush hour, there have been historical issues with groping, sadly. It's less about overt crime and more about unpleasant situations in very close quarters. Oops.
Ah, yes, the dreaded Denshu-chicken train groper. Not exactly a charming phrase. It's a cultural thing apparently, or at least a byproduct of super crowded commutes. And culturally, reporting it or making a fuss might be less common, perhaps.
It can be, yeah. There's a cultural emphasis on politeness and avoiding public confrontation, which can sometimes make it harder to speak up in those situations. But things are changing, and there are campaigns to raise awareness and encourage reporting. Aha.
Good to hear things are evolving. So, in Japan, the safety concern is less about getting mugged in a dark alley and more about unexpected hand placement on a crowded train? A very different kind of travel hazard.
Travel hazard, Leo, you have a way with words. But yeah, in Japan, it's more about being aware of personal space in crowded situations, and knowing how to seek help if needed. And maybe downloading a good personal safety app, just in case.
Safety app, always a good shout. And maybe learn a few key Japanese phrases like samaime-sen, dain-bisu. Excuse me, stop that, just in case. You know, for educational purposes. But generally, Japan sounds like a dream for solo female travelers in terms of basic safety.
And culturally, Japan is generally very respectful and polite, especially to visitors. You are unlikely to encounter overt harassment or aggressive behavior in public spaces. That's such a huge plus for feeling comfortable and relaxed while exploring.
Relaxed exploring, that's the travel dream, isn't it? So, to sum up, Bosnia and Herzegovina pretty safe. Be a bit culturally aware, watch out for pickpockets. Japan super safe, generally maybe a bit crowded train aware, culturally very respectful. Sounds like two very different vibes, but both manageable for women travelers.
And as always, common sense travel tips apply everywhere. Stick to well-lit areas at night. Let someone know your plans, and trust your gut. Whether you're in Sarajevo or Tokyo, being aware of your surroundings is key.
Trust your gut, the best travel advice ever, and maybe pack a portable doorstop if you're extra cautious about hotel rooms anywhere in the world. Just saying. But overall, both Bosnia and Japan have safety profiles for women, but neither is a no-go zone by any means.
Definitely not. And for even more detailed safety tips and travel advice, our listeners can always check out Jet of AI. They've got tons of resources for planning safe and amazing trips, no matter where you're headed.
Shameless plug for Jet Off AI. Nicely done, Mira. But yeah, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to travel safety. So, do your research, be smart, and go explore the world, whether it's the hills of Bosnia or the neon lights of Tokyo.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, give this video a like if you found this comparison helpful. And subscribe for more country showdowns. Oh, we've still got a whole world to compare after all. Wow.
Indeed we do. Next up, maybe we should tackle somewhere totally different like Iceland versus Brazil for polar opposite travel experiences. Until then, safe travels everyone, and try not to spill your coffee on yourself while you're out there.
Bye for now, listeners, and thanks for tuning into another episode brought to you by Jet Off AI. Our current topic, we compare the legal systems, individual rights, and freedoms into countries. From constitutional protection, Bosnia and Herzegovina, despite its rather complex political setup, does guarantee a wide range of human rights in its constitution. It's like a long list of do not disturb signs for basic freedoms.
Yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina's constitution. It's like a peace treaty in legal form, right? It really tries to cover all bases to ensure everyone feels protected after a tough period. Japan, on the other hand, their constitution, especially Article 9 renouncing war, is globally pretty famous. It's like saying peace out in a very official document.
And thinking about individual rights, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, you've got freedom of expression, religion, movement, the whole shebang, at least on paper. It's like a buffet of rights, hoping everyone gets their fill. Oh, but sometimes, getting those rights served and enforced can be a bit complicated.
Complicated is putting it mildly, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina as structure with different entities and levels of government, it's like trying to navigate a maze designed by committee. Japan, though, they have a very legal system as well established, efficient, and generally respected. It's like a super organized library where everything is in its place.
A super organized library. I love that, Leo. Makes Japan sound incredibly efficient. Which, let's be honest, it usually is. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, the challenge often lies in implementation, right? You might have the right to protest, for example, but actually protesting and feeling heard. That's a different story.
Precisely. It's like having a recipe for a cake, but then realizing half the ingredients are missing or the oven is temperamental. In Japan, if the Constitution promises freedom of assembly, you can generally assemble without suddenly you can generally yourself in a Godzilla movie directed by the police. Wow!
Godzilla movie directed by the police. Leo, you're on fire today. But seriously, when we talk about individual freedoms, Japan is generally seen as very respectful of personal liberties. Freedom of speech is protected. Though there are cultural nuances, of course. You might not get arrested for criticizing the government, but maybe your neighbors will give you that look.
That look in Japan can be more powerful than any jail sentence. It's like social pressure turned up to 11. Whoa, but yes, broadly speaking, Japan is a free society. Bosnia and Herzegovina is also aiming to be, but they are still in a phase of solidifying and strengthening their institutions to fully guarantee those freedoms for everyone. Consistently.
And when you think about the legal system itself, Japan's is very much based on civil law, influenced by European systems, especially German. It's known for its emphasis on codified laws and a structured court system. Very orderly, very Japanese.
Orderly is the keyword there, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina's legal system is also evolving, trying to harmonize with European standards, especially as they aim for EU membership. But they're still dealing with legacies from the past and the complexities of their own political framework. It's like renovating an old house while still living in it. Things can get messy.
A few renovations indeed. So, if you're looking for a legal system that's predictable and runs like clockwork, Japan is your place. If you're interested in a system that's still developing, with all the exciting and sometimes frustrating aspects that come with that, then Bosnia and Herzegovina offers a different kind of experience.
Exactly. It's like choosing between a bullet train and a scenic, slightly bumpy but ultimately rewarding mountain road. But get you somewhere. But the journey is quite different. And for anyone actually needing to navigate the legal systems in Japan, you'll find it quite formal and procedure-heavy, but efficient. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, patience and perhaps a good local lawyer are your best friends.
Patience and the good lawyer, excellent advice, Leo. So, in summary for legal system, individual rights and freedoms, Japan offers a well-oiled, highly structured environment, while Bosnia and Herzegovina is striving to fully realize its constitutional promises in a more complex and still evolving setting. It really depends on what kind of legal landscape you prefer, or, need to navigate.
Perfectly summarized, Mira. It's like choosing between a Zen garden and a vibrant, slightly overgrown but beautiful Balkan garden. Both have their own unique charm and challenges. Shall we move on to the next topic then?
Our current topic, we compare spa, healthy living, and relaxation opportunities into countries. From luxurious spas to...
Wait, Mira, before you dive in, are you saying we need relaxation? Is this podcast getting too stressful for you? Maybe we should book ourselves a spa day after this.
Yeah, you always think I'm stressed. I'm just saying, everyone needs to unwind sometimes. Even podcast hosts who are naturally hilarious and relaxed. But yes, a spa day just sounds amazing. Especially if it involves those cucumber eye masks.
Cucumber eye masks? Mira, darling, you're thinking about a movie scene. Real relaxation is about suffering in silence in a hot sauna, isn't it? Or at least that's what I imagine rich people do.
Suffering in silence. Leo, you make relaxation sound like a punishment. For me, it's more about feeling pampered and refreshed. Not like I'm training for a marathon in a steam room. But let's talk about Bosnia and Herzegovina first, shall we? I hear they have some great thermal spas.
Thermal spas in Bosnia. I picture myself soaking in some ancient Roman baths, surrounded by crumbling mosaics and maybe a stray pigeon or two. Is that accurate, or am I just being overly dramatic again?
Well, maybe not exactly like that. Leo, but Bosnia and Herzegovina does have a long history of using thermal waters for healing. Think natural hot springs, mineral-rich waters, and spa resorts nestled in beautiful mountain landscapes. Imagine relaxing surrounded by nature.
Nature? Mountains? Sounds like a spa and more like a hiking trip that accidentally stumbled upon some warm water. Don't get me wrong, nature is lovely, but when I think spa, I think fluffy roads and someone bringing me grapes on a silver platter. Wow.
Okay, Mr. Silver Platter. But think about it, Leo. Bosnia and Herzegovina offers a more authentic experience, maybe. Less of the glitz and glamour, more focus on the natural healing benefits. Plus, it's probably way more affordable than some fancy European spa.
Affordable relaxation. Now you're talking my language. Maybe I could actually afford that spa day we discussed earlier. So, what kind of treatments are we looking at in Bosnian spas? Just soaking in hot water, or do they offer anything more exotic?
They have traditional treatments like massages, mud baths, hydras of the Ottoman influence. You might even find some Turkish bath-inspired experiences in some places. Imagine a hammer session in Bosnia.
Hammer in Bosnia? That's actually quite cool. So, you're saying I could get scrubbed down by a burly Bosnian man in a steamy room? Now that's an experience I could tell jokes about on stage.
It's supposed to be relaxing. Yes, you could experience a hammer. And think about the healthy living aspect to fresh air, mineral-rich water. Local food is a holistic approach to well-being.
Holistic well-being sounds suspiciously like exercise. Ouch. But alright, I'm picturing it. Bosnia, rustic spas, natural hot springs, maybe a pigeon or two and hammer experiences. Got it. Now, how does Japan compare in the relaxation department? I'm expecting robots and high-tech saunas.
Leo, your imagination is wild. Japan takes relaxation to a whole other level. Think of onsen traditional Japanese hot springs, but with incredible attention to detail and ritual. Wow.
Onsen ritualistic hot springs. Sounds like something out of a samurai movie. Am I expected to meditate in the hot water while contemplating the meaning of life? Because I'm more of a contemplate what to have for lunch kind of meditator.
Well, you could contemplate lunch in an onsen, Leo. But it's more about immersing yourself in nature. The tranquility, the mineral-rich water. It's a very mindful and serene experience. Plus, many onsen are outdoors with stunning views.
Stunning views while naked in a hot spring with strangers. Oh, that's exposing. I guess it's all about embracing nature, literally. But seriously, are Japanese onsen just hot springs? Or do they have spa treatments too?
Massage, aromatherapy, traditional Japanese treatments and Japanese spas are renowned for their incredible service and attention to detail. Think pristine facilities, impeccable hospitality, and a focus on wellness and beauty. Ooh.
Impeccable hospitality, does that mean someone will bring me grapes on a silver platter in Japan? Because that might just sway my vote. But jokes aside, Japanese spas sound seriously luxurious. And probably seriously expensive too. Ouch!
Luxury definitely comes at a price in Japan, Leo. But think of it as an investment in your well-being. And it's not just about spas. Japan is a whole culture of healthy living. Think balanced diets, tea ceremonies, mindfulness practices. It's ingrained in their daily life. Wow.
Balanced diets, tea ceremonies, mindfulness mirror. You're making Japan sound less like a country and more like a health retreat. So, if Bosnia is the affordable rustic relaxation, Japan is the high ends? Am I getting this right? Man.
Pretty much, Leo. Bosnia and Herzegovina offers a more down-to-earth, natural approach to spa and wellness, while Japan provides a refined, luxurious, and deeply cultural experience. It really depends on what you're looking for.
So if I want to feel like I'm one with nature and maybe get a hammock experience for a bargain, I head to Bosnia. If I want to be pampered like royalty in a high-in paradise and possibly see a robot, I choose Japan.
And both offer amazing opportunities for healthy living and relaxation, just in very different styles. It's like choosing between a cozy cabin in the woods and a futuristic penthouse in the city. Both are great, just different vibes.
A futuristic penthouse, now you're talking. Maybe we should do a podcast from a Japanese spa one day. Imagine the sound quality, just the gentle bubbling of the onsen and my witty remarks echoing through the Zen gardens.
YouTube would definitely love that, Leo. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this comparison of global relaxation techniques. And for more details on spas and healthy living around the world, check out Jet-Off AI.
Yes, Jet-Off AI is your ultimate guide to planning your next relaxation getaway. Whether it's a budget-friendly Bosnian thermal, spa or luxurious Japanese onsen. Wow, they've got all the info you need. So Mira, which one are you leaning towards? Bosnia or Japan for your next spa rip?
Oh, that's a tough one, Leo. For a truly unique cultural experience, maybe Japan? But for affordability and natural beauty, Bosnia sounds incredible too. Maybe both? Is that allowed?
Both? Of course, Mira wants both. Well, listeners, you heard it here first. Mira wants a spot rip to both Bosnia and Japan. Maybe Jet-Off AI. I can sponsor that. Just putting it out there.
Hey, Jet-Off AI. If you're listening, we're ready for our spa research trip. But seriously, both countries offer fantastic options for spa, healthy living, and relaxation, just tailor-made for different tastes and budgets.
Indeed. So, whether you prefer pigeons and mosaics or robots and gardens, there's a perfect relaxation destination out there for you. Just choose wisely or just go to both. And with that profound wisdom, shall we move on to our next topic?
Our current topic, we compare opportunities for religious and spiritual needs into countries. From diverse places of worship to serene meditation spots, let's see how Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan stack up in feeding the soul, shall we?
Sounds like we're about to compare spiritual buffets. Bosnia and Herzegovina, with its mix of faiths, versus Japan, land of ancient temples and peaceful gardens. This could be more interesting than comparing coffee types. And, Jin, you know how much I love coffee.
Oh, Leo. Everything is always about coffee with you. But yes, this is about something a bit deeper than caffeine. Bosnia and Herzegovina, right? It's like a crossroads of religions, isn't it? You've got mosques, churches, synagogues all coexisting. It must be quite the spiritual melting pot. Wow.
A melting pot indeed, Mira. Imagine the holiday season, their Christmas carols blending with the call to prayer, and maybe someone lighting Hanukkah candles nearby. It's like a spiritual remix album. In Japan, it's a bit different, isn't it? More Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. A different flavor of spirituality.
When you think of Japan, you picture those stunning Shinto shrines nestled in nature and those tranquil Zen gardens. It's all about finding peace and connection with nature, right? In Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe it's more about community and faith within those established religions.
Community versus contemplation. Interesting. Intervibramplation. Interesting. In Bosnia and vibrant religious festivals, communal prayers at the mosque or church, that kind of thing. Imagine the food at those religious gatherings. Ooh, food for the body and soul.
Don't even get me started on food, Leo. I bet those religious festivals in Bosnia and Herzegovina are feasts for all senses. But Japan, with its Zen Buddhism, seems more about inner peace, meditation in quiet temples, finding your own spiritual path in solitude.
Solitude and serenity sounds almost too peaceful for me, Mira. It probably fall asleep during Zen meditation. Give me a lively Bosnian religious festival, any day music, people, maybe even some friendly theological debates over baklava.
You and your debates, Leah. But you're right. It's a different vibe. Bosnia and Herzegovina might be more about outward expressions of faith, while Japan's spirituality seems more inward and personal. Like, in Japan, you might visit a shrine to find personal blessings or reflect, whereas in Bosnia, you might go to a religious place to connect with your community.
So in Bosnia and Herzegovina, if you're spiritually hungry, you go to a religious community feast. In Japan, you go to a Zen garden for a spiritual snack of inner peace. Both sound good, depending on your spiritual appetite that day.
And for places of worship, Bosnia and Herzegovina is bursting with mosques, Orthodox churches, Catholic churches, and even synagogues, reflecting its diverse history. Wow, Japan, of course, has countless Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples, each with its own unique charm and history.
Imagine trying to decide which place of worship to visit in Bosnia and Herzegovina on a Sunday morning. It's like choosing from a spiritual menu with everything on it. In Japan, you might have to choose between a mountain shrine high, Kora serene, temple garden stroll for your spiritual exercise.
Spiritual exercise. I love it, Leo. It's all about finding what resonates with you, isn't it? Whether it's the community spirit of Bosnian religious life or the introspective calm of Japanese spirituality.
Exactly. And for anyone seeking spiritual guidance, Bosnia and Herzegovina probably has religious leaders from various faiths readily available for counseling and advice. In Japan, you might seek guidance from a Buddhist monk or a Shinto priest, or even just find wisdom in nature itself.
Nature is a spiritual guide in Japan. That's so beautiful. And in Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe it's about finding spiritual guidance within your faith community, sharing your concerns with a religious leader who understands your background. Wow.
So if you're looking for spiritual options, both countries offer a rich tapestry, just with different patterns. Bosnia and Herzegovina, a vibrant mix of established religions. Japan, a serene landscape of shrines and temples focused on personal reflection. It's like choosing between a lively spiritual festival and a quiet spiritual retreat.
Perfectly put, Leo. Whether you're seeking communal worship or personal contemplation, both Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan offer unique and fulfilling opportunities to nurture your spiritual side. It just depends what kind of spiritual journey you're craving. Ooh.
And if you're spiritually confused, maybe just visit both. Spend a week in a Bosnian monastery, then hop over to a Japanese Zen garden. Who knows, maybe you'll find enlightenment, or at least some great travel stories for our next podcast.
Always thinking about content, Leo. But you're right, experiencing both could be incredibly enriching. It's a reminder that spirituality comes in many forms and flavors, just like coffee.
See, Mira. Everything comes back to coffee eventually. But seriously, both countries seem to offer wonderful paths for those seeking spiritual fulfillment, just in their own unique and beautiful ways. And that's our spiritual comparative tasting for today.
Our current topic, we compare social equality, respect for minorities, and diversity in the countries. From Jet Alpha IS research, it looks like we're diving into Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Ooh, ready for another culture trip, Leah?
Culture trip? More like a culture comparison roller coaster, Mira. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Japan. Talk about putting two very different puzzle pieces together.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, with its, shall we say, colorful history, and Japan known for its, well, let's just say unique social structure. Diversity in Bosnia and Herzegovina is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
More like a box of fireworks, Mira? You're gonna get a bang, all right? Bosnia and Herzegovina's diversity is, putting it mildly, historically charged. It's like a family reunion where everyone remembers the arguments from the last 50 years.
Ouch, ouch. Okay, maybe not chocolates then. More like spicy peppers. But still diverse. You've got Bosniak Serbs, Croats. It's like a mini United Nations in one country. Wow.
A UN that occasionally forgets to be united, Mira. Let's be real, social equality there has been a work in progress. Respect for minorities depends on which minority and which year you're asking.
Okay, point taken. But things are getting better, right? People are trying, and there's a lot of cultural richness from all those different groups. Oh, into the food. The music. It's gonna be a vibrant place to live, even with the spicy peppers.
Vibrant, yes. Like a Jackson Pollock painting made with gunpowder. Japan, on the other hand. Japan is like someone meticulously arranging a Zen garden. Diversity. Subtle. Minorities. Let's just say they're not exactly throwing a parade for them every Tuesday.
I like that. Japan is more about harmony, right? Everyone fitting into their place like perfectly arranged stones. Maybe the spicy peppers more. Carefully cultivated wasabi?
Wasabi that can still bite you if you're not careful, Mira. Japan values social cohesion, which sometimes translates to fitting in or sticking out like a sore thumb. Social equality in Japan is often about everyone being equally expected to conform.
Conformity. That sounds a bit beige. I love colors. But I guess there's a kind of equality in everyone following the rules. Like, everyone gets the same train on time. No one jumps the queue.
Trains on time, yes. Social mobility. Less of a bullet train, more of a local service stopping at every station. Minorities in Japan, like Zaini, Nietzsche, Koreans, or Bura come in, still face quiet but persistent discrimination. It's not always overt, but it's there, simmering under the surface like lukewarm miso soup.
Not as exciting as spicy peppers, I admit. But maybe there's a different kind of strength in that harmony. Like less conflict, more stability. Maybe for some people, that's a good kind of social equality.
Stability at the cost of individuality? Maybe. Depends if you prefer a loud, messy street party or a quiet, orderly tea ceremony. Bosnia and Herzegovina might be chaotic, but at least everyone gets a voice, even if they're shouting over each other. Japan sometimes feels like everyone's whispering the same thing.
Spicy peppers versus whispers. It's quite the contrast. But both are real places with real people trying to make it work, right? No place is perfect, but understanding the differences, that's what Jitafea is all about.
Exactly, Mira. Understanding the spice and the whispers, and maybe, just maybe, finding a good joke in between. And now, about those spicy peppers, are they good with coffee?
So moving right along. Let's chat about something super thrilling: taxation, retirement, and social rights for long-term immigrants. I know. Sounds like a party, right?
Mira, you make even taxes sound like a carnival. But yeah, for anyone thinking of actually, living somewhere, this stuff is less confetti and more make or break. Let's dive into Bosnia and Herzegovina first, shall we?
Bosnia and Herzegovina, land of beautiful landscapes and, well, taxes. From what I hear, if you're planning on sticking around for the long haul there, and you're earning money, you're gonna be part of their tax system. Pretty standard stuff, right?
Standard, but with a Balkan twist, maybe? Japan, on the other hand, when you're a long-term immigrant, they definitely want their taxes. It's a pretty structured system, very organized, very Japanese.
That's one word for it. So in Bosnia, from what I gather, income tax exists. And there are also contributions for things like pension and health insurance. It's all part of the package deal of living there. Like getting amazing coffee and Siva PCIC.
Siva PCIC are definitely a perk. But Japan, they've got income tax, residence tax, and then the social security contributions. It can feel like they're politely but firmly tapping you on the shoulder for your share.
Politely, but firmly. Love that description, Leo. So, for retirement in Bosnia, if you've been paying into their system, you're theoretically building up towards a pension. The social security system, like in many places, is there to catch you if you fall, health-wise and otherwise.
Right, the safety net. Japan's pension system is, again, very organized. You're basically in from day one as a long-term resident, contributing to the national pension. And their social security covers a pretty broad range, from health to unemployment. Very comprehensive, very...
Secure feeling is good in Bosnia, but the actual experience might vary. Healthcare access, for example, might not be as straightforward as in some other European countries. It's more of a navigate as you go situation, perhaps.
Navigate as you go, that's the spirit of adventure. Japan, though, healthcare is top-notch, generally accessible if you're paying into the system, which you likely are. Social rights are pretty well defined and enforced. Less adventure, more procedure.
So, if you're dreaming of retiring in Bosnia and Herzegovina, you want to really research how the pension system works for immigrants. And maybe have a backup plan just in case, like a secret stash of euros under your mattress?
Euros under the mattress classic. Retiring in Japan. Well, you'd need to have contributed for a certain period to get a full pension. And cost of living in retirement can be, shall we say, not cheap. Living super traditionally and growing bonsai trees.
On social rights. It's good to know that in Bosnia, there are laws against discrimination and for worker protections. But enforcement can be a bit patchy, shall we say, Ips?
Patchy is polite. Japan, legally, they have protections against discrimination and for workers. Socially, it's nuanced. Fitting in and feeling fully included can be a different story, depending on your background and where you are. It's not always a legal thing, it's more of a violent thing, maybe.
Totally get that. So, if you're planning to be a long-term immigrant in either Bosnia or Japan, doing your homework on taxes, retirement, and social rights is crucial. It's not the most glamorous part, but it's definitely grown-up stuff.
Definitely grown-up stuff, and maybe not as funny as spilling coffee on yourself, Mira, but important. Check out resources online. Maybe Jetafai has some handy guides. Always good to be informed before you pack your bags and your tax forms.
Jet off AI to the rescue again. Yes, definitely do your research, folks. Nobody wants a tax surprise, unless it's a surprise. Unless it's a surprise refund. Ooh! And if you're enjoying this podcast and finding it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube.
Like and subscribe. It's cheaper than a tax consultant and way more entertaining. Seriously though, understanding these systems is key to a smooth long-term move. Don't just pack your bags, pack your knowledge too.
Knowledge is power, and maybe a little bit of humor to get through the tax forms. Shall we move on to the next thrilling topic, Leo?
Lead the way, Mira. Let's see what other exciting comparisons await us.
Speaking of natural beauty, let's chat about something equally fascinating, Leo, shall we? Like if someone has a super specific hobby, which of our countries would be their happy place?
Specific interests. Mira, you know me, I'm interested in observing people with specific interests. It's like, are we talking about competitive cheese rolling or underwater basket weaving? Because that changes things drastically between Bosnia and Japan.
Maybe not cheese rolling, although it paid to see that in Sarajevo. But think about it, Leo, from niche hobby clubs to specialized events. Like, where do people really get to nerd out on their passions?
Nerd out, Mira? Love it. Japan, right off the bat, wins the nerd out, Mira. Nerd out, Mira? Love it. Japan, right off the bat, wins the nerd out Olympics. Wow. I mean, have you seen the themed cafes? Cat cafes are amateur robot restaurants, undel cafes. Bosnia's got charm, but Japan, it's a curated experience for every imaginable subculture.
True, Japan is like level expert in niche, but Bosnia has its own kind of appeal. Think about traditional crafts, Leo. Like, if you're obsessed with Ottoman era calligraphy or hand-carved wooden furniture, wouldn't Sarajevo be incredible?
Calligraphy and furniture, Mira, respectable hobbies, I guess. But Japan has centuries-old traditions too. Think bonsai, origami, sword making. Plus, they've turned the ceremony into an art form. Bosnia's got history, Japan's got hyper-focused artistry.
Artistry, yes. Anime conventions, manga cafes, video game arcades. Japan is a playground for pop culture passions. But Bosnia, it's got a soul license for certain interests. Like, if you're into folk music and storytelling, the SCV in Bosnia is deeply moving.
SCV sounds like a character from a soap opera. Look, I get it, soulful music is nice. But Japan has J-pop, K-pop's cooler cousin. An entire district dedicated to electronics and manga. For meeting specific interests, it's like comparing a charming local bookstore to Amazon headquarters.
Amazon headquarters, that's harsh, Leo. But I see your point. Japan is like organized niche interest fulfillment. Everything is categorized, themed and readily available. Bosnia is more organic. If you want to find something specific, you might have to dig, but the reward is often more authentic.
Authentic digging, Mira. Sounds like my apartment after I organize it. But seriously, if someone wants to delve into the history of samurai armor, they're flying to Japan. If they want to explore the history of Bosnian sheep farming, maybe Bosnia.
Sheep farming is important, Leo. But you're making me think. Japan is incredible for very defined, often modern or very ancient interests. Bosnia might be better for interests that are more about human connection and raw cultural experiences. Wow.
Raw cultural experiences is that code for might be a bit harder to find. Okay, Bosnia has charm. For history buffs, Sarajevo's museums in the Tunnel of Hope are powerful. But for, say, train spotting, Japan's bullet trains win, hands down.
Bullet trains versus the scenic Bosnian railways. Okay, point taken. But think about outdoor adventures, Leo. If you're obsessed with hiking in dramatic mountains, Bosnia's dinner sea Alps are stunning and less crowded than the Japanese Alps. Whoa.
Mountains are mountains, Mira. Unless they're shaped like Mount Fuji, in which case Japan wins again for iconic mountain interests. But fine, Bosnia has mountains. Japan has perfectly manicured Zen gardens for people obsessed with rocks.
Zen gardens are amazing. And what about martial arts, Leo? Japan is the birthplace of so many. But Bosnia has its own traditional wrestling styles, maybe less globally famous, but still rich in culture. It's about what kind of interests you have, right?
Wrestling styles, are we talking sumo? Because sumo trumps Bosnia and greased up grappling? Look, for martial arts, Japan is legendary. Bosnia, they probably have spirited arm wrestling at cafes.
Cafe and wrestling could be an Olympic sport if we market it right, Leo. But seriously, it's like Japan excels at catering to very established, often commercialized interests. Bosnia is better for those seeking something more off the beaten path, something you have to discover yourself.
Off the beaten path and potentially harder to find. Let's be real, Mira. If someone's obsessed with Hello Kitty merchandise, are they booking a flight to Sarajevo or Tokyo? It's not even a contest.
Okay, oh Kitty goes to Tokyo, agreed. But what if you're obsessed with, I don't know, finding undiscovered folk crafts? Or meeting artisans who still practice ancient techniques? Bosnia might offer a richer, more personal experience for that.
Undiscovered folk crafts sounds like a treasure hunt, and I prefer my treasures easily found in Wellwood shops. Japan's entire department store floor is dedicated to crafts, beautifully displayed and gift-wrapped. Bosnia might have a charming market stall, maybe.
Charming markets, Talzei treasures, Leo. Wow, it's about the experience, not just the product. But okay, for sheer variety and organization of niche interests, Japan is a superstore. Bosnia is more like a cozy, quirky antique shop.
Antique shop where you might find something amazing if you spend hours sifting through dusty boxes. Japan is the well-oiled machine of niche interests, Mira. You want it, they've got it, probably in triplicate, in different colors and limited editions.
Japan is the king of limited editions. Oh, but maybe, just maybe, some people prefer the thrill of the hunt. The joy of discovering something unique and less mass-produced. For those interests, Bosnia might just surprise you.
Surprise you with potential difficulty in finding what you're looking for. Look, for meeting specific interests on a grand scale, Japan is unmatched. For a more adventurous, maybe you'll find it, maybe you won't approach. There's Bosnia.
I like that, Leah. It's like, in Japan, your specific interest is catered to, co-packaged, and presented perfectly. In Bosnia, you might have to forge your own path, but the journey can be just as rewarding, in a different way.
Rewarding and potentially frustrating if you can't find what you're after. Bottom line, Mira, for meeting specific interests, Japan is a well-stocked vending machine. Bosnia is a charming but slightly disorganized garage sale.
Slightly disorganized garage sale with hidden gems. And sometimes, Leo, those hidden gems are the most valuable. It really depends on what kind of specific interest adventure you are after, right?
Adventure or just wanting to find that limited edition anime figurine without having to trek through dusty boxes. Phrase variety and sheer volume of niche interest fulfillment, Japan wins this round. Bosnia gets points for rustic charm and potential for unexpected discoveries.
Unexpected discoveries and a truly unique, soulful experience. Wow. And for some specific interests, Leo. That's exactly what people are looking for. Maybe we should do an episode on garage sale tourism next, sponsored by Genoff AI.
Garage sale tourism, Mira, you're killing me. Let's stick to comparing countries for now. And maybe, just maybe, direct people to Genoff AI for actual travel planning, not just garage sale locations. But for specific interests, Japan. All day, every day, unless your specific interest is the thrill of the hunt in a slightly disorganized but charming setting.